Trump won, inauguration day. Let's go. Let's celebrate. Let's look at what we got here.
From the on-the-ground reporter Savannah Hernandez, right-leaning online reporter, who went to one of these protests and spoke to some of the people who are out there resisting the inauguration.
You guys can hear the video and everything, right? Get rid of this. Hold on. We're good there. Live chat there. Yeah, let me know real quick about if you hear the video good. Actually, let me let that play. And you just let me know.
And the results are kind of hilarious.
What have the mental repercussions of Donald Trump being the 47th president been?
Oh, guys, elections should not affect you that deeply, okay? Deep breath. It's going to be okay.
I'm personally here because I had a mental breakdown after Donald Trump won.
It's devastation. It's absolute, complete devastation to people's mental, emotional, physical, and psychological health. People are dying as a result of Trump being elected. There are people dying by suicide because they don't want to live in a country where their rights are not respected and them as people are not.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. So I just did the computer needed an update. Hopefully that will all come together, but we are here now. We got everything, and yeah, the libs are not happy. This is from the actual inauguration in DC.
Seen as people, but rather than objects of that should be eliminated.
Good gosh. These people are not well. That is tragic, what she's describing about people taking their own lives. And I don't know if that's true. To whatever extent it is happening, it's horrible, but that's about the mental health and the frailty of the emotional and kind of psychological health of the person involved. It's not actually about the election. And this is a description of what Trump or MAGA wants to do with this country that has no basis in reality, just wanting to eliminate everyone and no rights for anyone. I mean, this is the problem with the kind of alarmist, hyperbolic rhetoric that you see from left-wing activists, from Democratic politicians like AOC, is that some of their supporters believe it. It's not just making criticisms or saying, you know, they're going to restrict abortion or other things that people might not like. They might roll back some trans stuff that people support. If they're not going to do that, they have to ratchet up the rhetoric to an 11 out of 10, and they don't seem to realize or care that that makes their diehard supporters, like the people in this video, come unhinged because they believe the propaganda, they believe the alarmism, and that can have tragic consequences, as we're witnessing here with these people whose brains and frankly, souls appear to have been broken by Trump derangement syndrome. Again,
100%.
We survived one Trump presidency. We're going to survive another. It's not that deep. Y'all need to all calm down.
And it's like, I saw people, including Harry Sisson here. Sorry, I'm trying to do a million things at once. Harry Sisson was talking about, well, how come you don't see all this, you know, in 2020, you saw all this rioting and everything. Where's the rioting now? We're not rioting. It's like, yeah, because you lost so bad. You lost so bad. Oh, come on. You lost so bad. There's nothing for you to protest over. It's just everybody hates you. We don't like you. You lose. Goodbye.
It's a downward mental impact. It's not good.
My biggest worry right now, honestly, as a mother of a trans kid, I really worry about their rights. Like my sign says, our own Constitution only says all men are created equal. And I really wish that would change for the whole.
Pretty sure. Oh, sorry. I can just see you guys saw the thing. Oh my God. Help me. Sorry, guys. But yeah, it's like we have well, if Joe Biden just didn't decree the 28th Amendment, well, that would be it right there. But we already have the Civil Rights Act. So I don't know what you're talking about. He wouldn't say that. I said my compassion is meant for those who deserve it, not crybabies who use their own lives to threaten you into whatever they want. Yep, exactly. Is she not wearing pants? I mean, it wouldn't be surprising. It wouldn't be surprising. They look like leggings.
Country.
Fact check. Incorrect. We have an equal protection clause in the Constitution that enshrines equality for all people not just men. And I'm sorry, but if your big issue is being able to give your kid a sex change, one, I really question the morality, ethics, and safety of that. But two, if you live in a blue state, frankly, unfortunately, in my view at least, that's probably not going away.
I don't think the government has any place telling us what we can and can't do with our bodies, and no uterus, no opinion.
Well, that's
okay. We're restarted. Let's just pray, guys. Let's just pray. Let's see. Back. I have no idea what is going on, but yeah, I just restarted, updated, and everything, and we have nothing. But all right, it is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, right. That's the number one concern. Not that people can afford the way to live. Not that people are fighting wars all over the place. Transing the kids. That's what really matters.
incredibly transphobic. Trans women are women, and women can decide on abortion.
Excuse me, it's ma'am. It is ma'am.
I mean, I've always found the no uterus, no opinion thing kind of silly. Like, they didn't apply that logic to the 9 men who authored the original Roe v. Wade decision, did they? It seems like something they only pull out when they disagree with the man's opinion, not when they agree with it.
I definitely don't feel like women are treated equal in society.
If I had a Hannah, she would be fired. If I had a Hannah, she would definitely be fired. But hey, shout out to Garrett. Thank you so very, very much for the $2. Welcome to the party. My camera settings and everything all messed up. But of course, every donation comes with a treat for Morty. I have an idea. Okay, so we could use that camera, but this. Okay, 2 seconds. We're going to try something else. 2 seconds. Oh, come on. Mute this. No, we want that. Okay, so this sound isn't coming out of where. Give me 1 second. This. Why is this? This one. Test. That's not. Okay, how about that? Can we hear? Can everyone hear me? We can go without. We can go without that. All right. All right. So put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. There was an echo. We're good, but then I can't pull this up. So I need here to here, no, here to here. That's a pain. All right, well, I'm just gonna have to come back and talk to you like this. Oh, all right. So we'll go from here. All right, guys. I appreciate the time with me. Let's again. Where am I? Let's again. Nope. Jesus Christ. Shout out to Garrett Grant. Thank you very, very much, sir. All right. What was she saying now?
Roe v. Wade decision, did they? It seems like something they only pull out when they disagree with the man's opinion, not when they agree with it.
And I definitely don't feel like women are treated equal in society, and I'm definitely worried about, the right to an abortion and birth control being taken away. But I also recognize that as, a white woman, I have a lot more privilege than a lot of women in this country, and there are other women that are facing a lot more of their rights being taken away, like trans women and women of color. So I come out here to support them as well, and just try to keep fighting the good fight for as long as we can until we can get our rights in the Constitution.
Bruh.
Oh yeah, all of that work, huh? All of that work. That's what you're doing, eh? You didn't really say anything.
I love the woke mind virus where they can't even just stick to their, I'm a liberal woman. I believe abortion is a woman's right, blah, blah, blah. We can have that conversation. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about that. No, and you have to go to the trans women, women of color. I have privilege. Like,
yep.
The need to bring that up unsolicited is just very much a tell of how that kind of culture breaks people's brains. Like, you don't need to constantly self-flagellate at the altar of identity politics, baby. It's okay to just have an opinion and not constantly remind everyone how privileged you are. And look, we're going to have to talk about abortion, and some serious abortion changes may be made. But to be clear, Trump doesn't want a national abortion ban, has actually taken a somewhat moderate position on abortion, and I really don't think the Republicans are going to try even, let alone be successful at banning birth control.
No. I mean, Trump has said specifically that he's in favor of all of that stuff. He doesn't want to stop any of that. So why all of a sudden would it be something that just pulled out of his asshole? Come on over here, Buzz. All right. What? Come here. There we go. I know. And Matthew King said, could you imagine being a minority that's faced true racism and being lumped in with a white dude claiming to be a chick? No, it's weird. It is weird. And let's see what we got from there. TV, I will see we'll get anything here. There we go. Shout out to TV viewers. Thank you so very, very much for the $10 super chat. All right, I gotta remember that I'm looking at you guys here, but I'm watching the video here. Okay. So I don't actually need to go back to there because I'm on here. All right. But I do need to make sure that is here. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Thank you. Oh, and of course, that makes you the new sponsor of the stream. Very, very, very much appreciated. Don't forget about the super chat swoggle. Get me on the ground doing some push-ups for Liberation Day, but very, very, very much appreciated. Thank you, sir.
That's not a thing people need to be worried about. At least, certainly not at the federal level, which is what we're talking about here. And of course, because this is a lived out protest, there had to be at least one woman in the full Handmaid's Tale kit and costume.
I literally broke down in tears, and several of my friends cried as well. It's scary. I mean, a lot of my friends are nurses, and we are scared for our future. I think that the people that are in support of it are probably in support of it for the wrong reason. They want cheaper eggs and gas, and
I love that. She's like, the wrong reasons, like wanting to be able to afford to live.
What kind of horror? What kind of horror? Oh, why don't I just do this? What kind of horrors do you have to be? What kind of horrid person do you have to be to want to feed your family. That's insanity. That is insanity.
And I'm sorry, but the Handmaid's Tale thing is so ridiculous to me. No matter what you think of some of the Trump policies or Republican policies about these issues, it's not the Handmaid's Tale, okay? The first Trump presidency wasn't, and you just look ridiculous.
Shout out again to TV Viewerski. Very, very, very much appreciated.
It just was really difficult to wrap my head around the fact that half of my country didn't even think that women and transgender people and gay people and people of color should have basic rights.
Goodness. Seriously?
Oh, come on.
These people actually think that half the country just doesn't want anyone to have rights, and then half.
It's gonna be one of those streams, guys. It's gonna be one of those streams. All right. So Matthew said, "I get mad when they lump IVF in with abortion." The argument is that the argument is that since technically a zygote or an embryo can be made and then be killed through IVF, that technically you are ending a pregnancy. I guess technically that is true, but I think the fact that the purpose is to prevent the pregnancy in the first place, as opposed to ending a pregnancy that's already there, makes it very different. Very different. Leslie said the fact that that everything not corporate is supposed to coalesce on the left. Can I close this? All right, there we go. We'll do that. There we go. The fact that everything not corporate is supposed to coalesce on the left and not mix is far too convenient. It was most likely engineered that way by people like Lewis F. Powell and Milton Friedman. Melissa Knight said, if you think it's bad now, when none of the terrible things happen again, they will truly have a breakdown. Yeah, what are they gonna bitch about? What are they gonna bitch about? They'll find something. They will find something.
The country supports equality and people having rights. It's just the goodies versus the baddies, the evil, mean people who want to oppress everyone versus the heroic, kind people. Are you a toddler? Do you have a preschool level understanding of the complicated issues that divide us? Because frankly, most MAGA don't have any problem with gay people having rights, with women having rights, with any of the things you listed, really. I mean, some of the trans stuff, they object to what you call trans rights, but that's
so exactly, King. The fact that it has the possibility of life, and so it's not just blocking eggs from being fertilized in the first place. It will take a fertilized egg that has a zygote and not allow that to continue. So technically, that is ending a life. But again, if we are talking about that versus letting people just get pregnant and then get abortions, I will take the latter.
That's kind of a deeper conversation. And I'm always just struck by the complete lack of nuance and the complete deconstruction of the other side, as if it's just some caricature and as if it's really as simple. You and your infinite wisdom at 23 years old or whatever this young woman is, you've just figured the whole world out. And politics is as simple as the good guys versus the bad guys. And it's such a shame that 51% of America chose to be evil, but maybe they'll wake up one day and join you in your benevolent wisdom. Give me a break. This whole thing is so absurd. I mean, I support these people's right to protest till to their heart's content. It is free speech. It is their First Amendment right. But I do think it's pretty silly. And a lot of them seem totally out of touch and all worked up for reasons that are far exaggerated compared to the actual reality we face. And I think in that sense,
And again, sorry, give me a second here, guys. In terms of remaining consistent, it's if you say that anytime a life is created, there is absolutely nothing that can end that, then you should be against IUDs. But again, this isn't a perfect world where we can prevent every life from being ended. And you said they'll claim AOC stopped him or Gavin blocked the legislation. There will always be an excuse. Yep. When you're right, you're right.
What they're doing is harmful and encouraging other people to have levels of fear that are just not justified. There'll be some good things, some bad things in the Trump administration. I'll give you my honest opinion about it either way, but it's not going to be the end of the world. It's not going to be the end of rights for brown people or gay people or any of this nonsense. Trump was president once before, and the sky didn't fall.
So, and conveniently, we've got some other stuff directly about today. You may or may not have heard that Biden decided to not pardon. Oh my God, what is going on? Not pardon just Hunter, but his entire family and Dr. Fauci. Free. So whatever we have to do to get Fauci on the stand is something I am willing to do within the confines of the law.
It's like Joe Biden, we made it through 4 years of him and all sorts of messed up policies and infringements on freedoms that I thought were horrible, but America did not end. It was not, in fact, the last election of our lifetime or any of the things that you heard some far-right people say. America will be just fine, and everybody needs to take a chill pill. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Do hit that like button while you're at it, and do make sure you're subscribed if you aren't yet. And now we got to check in with the TikTok refugee.
What? Brad, what are you talking about? Said because Trump is president? I'm sorry to hear that. I am sorry to hear that, sir. But I don't know if I can help you with that one.
Because some of them are falling for straight up communist propaganda. So for context, guys, I was going to do a whole segment on the latest with the TikTok ban. It got banned. Everyone freaked out, but then it put it back up because Trump says he's not going to enforce the law. It's a whole mess. I'm kind of waiting to see how things settle before.
All right. So you guys know that I love me my TikTok, right? And so long story short with TikTok is they so the Biden wrote the bill Trump originally wrote a bill in the summer of 2020 when the servers were still in China. And he was like, hey, if you have the Chinese servers, then you can't be here. So they moved the servers to Texas. So since 2020, the TikTok servers have been in the United States, mostly international owned, and the CEO is Singaporean, not Chinese. All this stuff, it gets banned. So Biden puts in a bill that says, they have to divest, otherwise they can't continue going. The way that was supposed to work was that as of Sunday, they were going to take it from the App Store. Meaning that if you already have the app on your phone, then you're good. But if you didn't have it, then you're not good. And if any future updates, you just wouldn't be able to get. And so just eventually it would fade away and it would stop working and, this wouldn't work and that, and people would just, stop using it. That was the goal. What then happened, Trump tried to do a 90-day extension, and that itself didn't pass. But for now, whatever it is, TikTok chose, instead of to let everybody just slowly kind of fall off, they're like, nah, let's just go ham, and boom, turned off the app for everybody. So everybody was freaking out, which is what helped get them to open it back up. But in the meantime, all this worry about the CCP and all privacy and all that other stuff. There's this other app, Red Note, which is straight up CCP propaganda. And people are going on there because it's a similar app to TikTok in terms of scrolling videos and stuff. I think I haven't actually been on there. They're listening to Chinese propaganda and being like, "Oh my God, China is the greatest place ever. We're in chains. It's insane." Leslie said the old oligarchy was against TikTok because of Gaza war footage circulation thanks to SpaceX. The new oligarchy is just politicizing TikTok, it appears. It does appear so. Let's hear a little bit more about it.
Before I open that can of worms up, because I had a whole segment prepared that no longer made sense once they reinstated it, but we'll get there. One piece of this conversation we can talk about for now, though, is the fact that some of the left-wing young people, the Gen Zers, the TikTok influencers, even some older ones who aren't Gen Z, who are so upset about the TikTok ban. I understand their frustration. Many of them are losing a source of income, a small business, a platform they love, but some of them are taking that to an unhinged extreme.
And again, we are, I can do that. Word up. All right. I don't know why that wasn't letting me do that before, but anyway. What the hell did you say?
Platform they love.
Yeah. So small business. The fact that there, a lot of people do, not only do a lot of people make money off of TikTok, the community aspect. You know, I spent the day in the dark. I was on YouTube Shorts, and you know, just doing, you know, like if I'm in the bathroom or if I'm doing stuff around the house, I usually go through YouTube Short or through TikTok, because I don't feel like, you know, picking a video just to watch. It's just, you know, it's background, and I care enough about it to not want to watch stuff that I don't want to watch, but not enough to be like, all right, I'm gonna pick this video like you would with normal YouTube. So I was trying YouTube Shorts and scrolling through, and there was just such a difference in the experience, and it really is. Imagine if we had if we had Twitter, but with Twitter, all you could do was read posts. All you could do is read posts. You can't retweet them, or you can comment on them, but there's no reply. So you can reply to the original tweet, but you can't reply to the replies. You can't share it. That is what YouTube Shorts is like, and it's so different on TikTok, because what in the fuck is happening, dude? This is a joke. What? I don't understand what is happening here. Sorry guys. What was I just saying? Shit. Yes, TikTok. So it's like not being able to actually use the main feature of the social media to be social with other people. The purpose of TikTok isn't to watch the videos. The purpose of TikTok is to be watching videos that other people are also watching, and that just doesn't exist on these other platforms. And so I completely understand why people are this upset, but not straight up going to the CCP, guys.
But some of them are taking that to an unhinged extreme and seem to be just drinking straight up communist Kool-Aid and now believing some absurd fantasy vision of what life is like in China as if it's somehow better than America. Take a listen to this compilation of a couple of videos I made where delusional TikTok refugees, again, kind of ridiculous that they're calling themselves that.
It is pretty cringe. Matthew saying they keep moving the goalpost. First it was servers in the US. Then it was no outside access from China. Now it's they can't own it anymore. Who's the they in the last part? Who's the they can't own it anymore? They being China or they being America?
Have actually convinced themselves that life under the Chinese Communist Party's regime is some paradise compared to our dystopia here in America.
Yep, shout out to Daddy Trump. He was just doing a signing of a whole bunch of different executive orders in front of people. And so, yeah, 1,500 January 6 people freed. And someone was making a good point about that in the sense that, yeah, okay, people are talking about, well, okay, the violent ones. Let's get rid of the violent ones. But once you have people who are in there for one thing and they plea out for something else, you can't really parse out the good ones from the bad ones. And once you do that, you gotta just have a blanket pardon.
Take a listen and get ready to lose some brain cells.
I'm sure that we have all experienced someone telling us when we talk about how bad it is here in America to go and see what the standard of living is in China. Well, we took your advice. I can guarantee this was not the outcome they were expecting.
I'm just filled with the most impotent rage. What do you mean that people in China work one job and they don't even work 40 hours and they can easily afford their life? They keep us in these chains on purpose, and it never had to be like this. Like,
U.S. government, you got some explaining to do because we're seeing videos and
we're in chains, guys. The Chinese people are free, but we are in chains.
Life is looking so much better than we're watching everyday life in China. We don't even need propaganda. We're watching everyday clips. Shit's cheaper, shit's cleaner, people on the app are nicer. You better hope MAGA doesn't get on there. Because if China has the equivalent of a Ford F-150 and if it costs like under $10,000, you're so fucked.
Y'all, people
like, come on. Like, it's almost like the government controls what you see. So Matthew's saying that it's about ByteDance, not it was all I mean, the servers was the main issue. The servers was the main issue. Now, because that issue was fixed, that's not that is they have a different issue. So I mean, I understand what you're saying in the sense that they're moving the goalpost, but I don't necessarily think that it is I don't think they're just making up reasons. I think they have reasons that are not as strong as they could be, and they're using them. But it's definitely not because they care so much about you. I said even the violent ones, talking about January 6th, served 4 years for assault of a police officer. They did their time. Indeed. Well said. Yeah, unchain me. Oh no, I'm stuck in this. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right. Screen share audio. Oh my god. What is that? That's good. Okay, we're good there. Sorry guys. Okay, Quantic said, oh yes, my 65-year-old Chinese trading partner who loved China when he first moved here decided to stay because the USA is so much worse. Come on, man. Come on, man. Hey, a shout out to the Funk Master General. Welcome to the party. How are we gonna do this? So the Chinese netizens are going to have a field day with that last ladies. All right, let's see how we do this and get rid of that and get rid of that. And of course, trade for Morty. Dude, I don't know what is going on. Every time I move something on my computer, a new tab with Chrome help opens up. What is going on? Like it is, they're literally trying to screw with me. I do not know what is going on. But thank you so very, very much, sir. We got FMG in the building. Contact said he never actually mentions how much. Oh, what if I do this? He never actually mentions how much he loves that he can breathe fresh air and that his children actually have a chance to learn something other than what the state wants them to. Imagine that. It's almost like we have freedom. Thank you again, Funk Master General, new sponsor of the stream.
Stupid.
Boom. Thank you again, Funk. Not really. And I mean, you get the point that obviously China is not good for Americans. Very, very obviously. But there truly is an addiction. But again, I don't think it is something we could blame on TikTok. I think it's about just social media in general. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Let's try this again. Let's try this again. I am very mad, and I'm trying to pretend like I'm not. Oh, all right. Let's see. I can't even see everything. I hate everything. Amongst9 said YouTube seems to be big time butthurt today. That took down several streams of the inauguration. I believe it. Okay, let's try the video. Are we getting sound on the video?
Lifted tens of millions.
Was that a yes or a no or a good or a no good? He was basically just talking more about how China is not this amazing place. They're just showing you the propaganda. All right, so we are good there. Let's try one more time, guys. That's not that button.
Office. So we already knew the Democrats think you can choose whatever pronoun in the world you
Good.
want, but now they apparently think you can also choose your own constitution. Biden decided to announce that he believes or identifies as there now being a 28th Amendment to the Constitution, even though no such amendment exists. The context you need to know here is that there was a push to ratify an amendment called the Equal Rights Amendment that simply stated the equality of rights under the law shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of sex, and that Congress shall have the power to enforce by appropriate legislation the provisions of this article. Basically, it was meant to legally enshrine in the Constitution equality under the law for the sexes. But the push to enshrine this amendment failed. They didn't get enough states to ratify it by the deadline that was set out in the initial introduction, and some states since rescinded their support for it. But Biden, in his final days of office, decided to just come out and say, actually, now this amendment is the law. I declare it so. I couldn't make this up if I wanted to. Take a listen to the president.
Thank you again, and yeah, again, thank you for sticking with me, guys. Every time I move, there was a this. Well, I can't. What? This tab just opened like 5 times every time I moved. Then, if I touch Discord, literally like 16 different tabs open. Of like Discord, how can we help you? Like, why is this happening to me? Just leave me alone. Just leave me alone. But yeah, Biden doing some shady-ish.
Although by the time you hear this, he won't be the president anymore.
Yay!
Take a listen.
Just over 100 years ago, a pioneering group of women proposed the Equal Rights Amendment to enshrine the principles of gender equality in our Constitution. Throughout my career, I've been clear. No one should be discriminated against based on their sex. And in order for the amendment to be ratified, it requires 3/4 of the states to ratify it. That benchmark was passed when Virginia ratified the ERA a few years ago. Today, I affirm the Equal Rights Amendment to have cleared all the necessary hurdles to be added to the U.S. Constitution now.
Sir, you can't do that. You can't do that.
The Equal Rights Amendment is the law of the land now.
No, it's not.
It's the 28th Amendment to the Constitution now.
So
it's just not. It's just not. Guantec said, did equality mean better rights for men in divorce court? No, well, I mean, technically, they, what's his face? Trump actually did bring in the law with paying taxes on child support. So, I mean, maybe. M9 said Biden doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He signed executive orders not knowing what they were. We are definitely about to switch right over to what you are talking about. In fact, let's do that right now. So, we've all been that's not the right thing. Oh my God, sorry. We've all been talking about how, of course, Biden has not been running the damn country. He doesn't know what is going on, just like M169 is saying right here. And then this video came out a couple days ago, which you may or may not have seen.
I do stand by it, and I say this without any personal animus at all. I mean, in some ways, I actually kind of feel sorry for Joe Biden. I mean, he's in the twilight years of his life. He is not, obviously, has not been in charge for some time. And I know this by personal observation, and now the whole world knows it. And it's been very, very concerning to me over the last, year and a half since I've had this
Can you
position.
tell us a story when you say personal observation? What kind
well,
of
I mean,
thing did you see?
it's public now because the Wall Street Journal got it and put it on the front page. But January a year ago, almost exactly a year ago, I became speaker in October 2023, and there were all sorts of big national security concerns and everything going on. And I started.
Have you guys seen this?
With the president, because I'm kind of old school. I'm a constitutional law guy. Speaker of the House should be able to talk to the president, especially in times of great national interest and calamity. But they wouldn't let me meet with him, and his staff kept giving me excuses. This went on for like 8 or 9 weeks. I'm sorry, Mr. Speaker, he doesn't have time. What are you talking about? I'm second line of the presidency. He has time. I need to talk to him. We had.
That's not the bad part.
But we had some.
That's not the bad part.
Big national concerns at the time that I was losing sleep over. Finally, I just went to the Hill press corps and I said, the president is not being allowed to meet with the speaker. There's a problem. So they started putting pressure on him. Long story short, they finally relented. They invited me to the White House. I show up and I realize it's actually an ambush because it's not just me and the president. It's also Kamala Harris, Chuck Schumer, Hakeem, the CIA director.
So they're bringing everybody in. It's like, so you want to talk? Okay, we can talk. You want to talk? Let's talk.
Everybody. And then, so I walked in the Oval and, I know what this is. They're going to hotbox the speaker on Ukraine funding. That's what it was. This is probably third week of January. We sit down, we're in the midst of it, and the whole conversation, and I'm going, we don't need to have this conversation. The president reaches over just like this. We're sitting right next to the fireplace in the Oval, and he grabs my arm and he says,
man. Listen, man, you smell kind of good.
The speaker and I just need a couple minutes together. Would y'all just leave us alone? And I looked up on the faces of some of the staff standing around the lawn. They're like, oh, no, he did it. So he called it. He's the commander in chief. So everybody leaves. He and I are standing awkwardly in the middle of the Oval Office, right over the rug by that coffee table.
And it's funny because they could not have known what exactly he was going to ask Biden. But just by virtue of saying, oh, I want to talk to Biden without you guys here, they all knew, oh, this is not going to go well. This is not going to go well. And check this out. This should be one of the biggest scandals in maybe American history.
And I said, Mr. President, thanks for the moments. This is very important. I got some big national security things I need to talk to you about that I've heard and I think you know. And what do we do? But first, real quickly, Mr. President, can I ask you a question? I cannot answer this from my constituents in Louisiana. Sir, why did you pause LNG exports to Europe? Like, I don't understand. Liquefied natural gas is in great demand by our allies. Why would you do that? Because you understand, we just talked about Ukraine. You understand you're fueling Vladimir Putin's war machine because they got to get their gas from him, And he looks at me stunned and he said, I didn't do that. And I said, Mr. President, yes, you did. It was an executive order 3 weeks ago. And he goes, no, I didn't do that. And he's arguing with me. I said, Mr. President,
you done
did go out here and ask your secretary to print it out. We'll read it together. You definitely did that. And he goes, oh, you talk about natural gas.
Yeah,
yes, sir. He said, no, you misunderstand. He said, what I did is I signed this thing we're gonna conduct a study on the effects of LNG. I said, no, you're not, sir. You paused it. I know. I have the export terminals in my state. I talked to those people this morning. This is doing massive damage to our economy, national security.
So in case you missed it, I know stuff goes over my head all the time, but in case that went over your head, they're straight up just lying to him about what's going on. Oh, will you sign this? It's for a study. When it's actually shutting down the pipeline. Shutting it down.
It occurred to me, Barry, he was not lying to me. He genuinely did not know what he had signed. And I walked out of that meeting with fear and loathing because I thought, we're in serious trouble. Who is running the country? I don't know who put the paper in front of him, but he didn't know.
It's not him. It's not him. So Funkmaster said, hotbox the speaker? He thought they were going to lock him in a room and start farting until he passes out. Oh, I mean, that, you know what? Honestly, that would have been better. That would have been better. And their panic betrayed them. Yeah. Because the other thing is he wasn't there specifically to ask about that. I forget exactly what he said, but he was there for something else. And they just decided to hotbox him, and instead it did not work in their favor as he got that opportunity. And once he had that opportunity to get Biden without his people around, he snuck the question in, and a very good job, because like I said, that should be a huge scandal. And it's not good. There's so much they're willing to just bullshit us.
I was saved by God to make America.
So, and in terms of that, the inauguration speech, we're not going to go through the whole thing, but, obviously it is, the words escape me. The words escape me. How you could be that blatant and nobody knew we all knew, but everybody was just going along with this. I remember Megyn Kelly was talking like, I blame Jill for this. I blame Jill all the way. I said, how is that not front page news? I mean, I don't know. Maybe because despite the overwhelming victory, the mainstream, the establishment is still against Trump. They still have this idea that if we can just hold it together for 4 more years, we can go back to normal. And we cannot let that happen. Ugh, yuck, ugh, yuck. But yeah, so we're not going to go through the entire inauguration speech. You definitely should go watch it. But shout out to Steven Crowder for the top 10 moments.
America, great again.
Oh my goodness.
We will move with purpose and speed to bring back hope, prosperity, safety, and
In and out.
peace for citizens
He is in
of
and out,
every
isn't he? In and out,
race, religion, color, and creed. For American citizens, January 20th, 2025 is Liberation Day.
Let's go, baby. Happy to Liberation Day. Dilly to you all. Yeah, MC9 said she should be prosecuted for elder abuse. I wouldn't be against it.
He did.
Just a few months ago in a beautiful Pennsylvania field, an assassin's bullet ripped through my ear. But I felt.
Or did it? Maybe it was a conspiracy. Maybe it was broken glass from the teleprompters that didn't even break.
Then, and believe even more so now, that my life was saved for a reason.
That's right.
I was saved by God to make America great again.
Oh my goodness. That might be one of the most offensive lines, according to the left, ever delivered. I was saved by God to make America great again.
I mean, I'll take the atheist L on that. God saved my life to make America great again. Fine by me. I'll let that one slide. And yeah, I mean, it feels like a liberation because it is. It is a liberation. And again, just because Trump won doesn't mean everybody's saved and now everything's all great. The work starts now. But the work that we can actually do is put on the table in front of us. And we actually have the opportunity to go through with it. So I think Liberation Day is aptly named. Bunkmaster General said, I think it was a hummingbird. They fly really fast like a bullet. Well, I mean, you know, I know their wings can, but could their wings actually break the teleprompter? Going to hold my judgment, but we're off to a great start. Yeah, so it's just like with the election, we'll take one day to celebrate, have our victory lap. You know, especially after the sassy nations, we didn't fully know if we were going to make it here, but we made it here. We are going to celebrate today and take our victory lap, and then the work begins tomorrow.
Oh.
We have a government that has given unlimited funding to the defense of foreign borders.
Wow.
But refuses to defend American borders or, more importantly, its own people. And I will send troops to the southern border.
Wait.
To repel the
what was that drinking game?
And I will send.
Okay. Day drinking game rules. 1. Every time they mention January 6th, let's keep these rules going for the whole stream. So they mentioned January 6th. If they show coverage of protests, anytime Trump mentions executive orders, and finish your drink. What was that one? Anytime they cut to someone who you want to throw a drink on or something, maybe? I don't know.
Send troops to the southern border to repel the disastrous invasion of our country.
Here.
Oh, that's right.
There we go.
Shout out M169. Good catch. You know, it just added the insult. It's the sprinkles on top, the cherry atop of the Sunday that it's also MLK Day. Shout out to Martin Luther King. What did he say? I dream one day that my children will be judged by the color, or not judged, by the content of their skin, by the content of their character, and not the color of their skin. And here we are. Trump to deliver that promise. King Ivana said the pardons are a good start as well. The meme coins worry me. Yeah, I can't really get behind Trump coin. That's a little shady, but border control definitely good. And then we also, of course, have the ceasefire in Israel. You cannot undersell that one. That's a big one.
Cops, you're forgetting the drinking game
Under
rules.
the orders I signed today, we will also be designating the cartels as foreign terrorist organizations.
As they should be. As they should be. I mean, in what context? In what context would they not be a terrorist organization? What, like, just try to make that argument. I don't think that's there.
Kamala won't stand. I hope he just turns to her. You're not going to stand? Act like I'm a mayor with a raging erection.
The inflation crisis was caused by massive overspending and escalating energy prices. And that is why today I will also declare a national energy emergency. We will drill, baby, drill.
I think that's great, right? I would have thought Kamala.
An actual emergency that we need to drill. Not some vague thing that in 20 years, maybe we'll get to a point where if we don't do stuff now, then by then we won't be able to do it. No, we have an actual problem that needs addressing right now.
Let's stand up for that.
And I will sign an order to stop our warriors from being subjected to radical political theories and social experiments while on duty. It's going to end immediately.
Thanks. They need to learn react to contact.
Also, we're going to bring back push-ups.
Will be free
Sorry,
to
ladies.
focus on their
Shout out to the
sole
Swole Stream.
mission, defeating America's enemies. It will henceforth be the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
Oh my goodness. He stuck that one. Wow.
Hey, I mean, come on, man. Come on. If that doesn't get a dilly, I don't know what we are doing. Dilly to the man. So we have an actual problem that needs to be addressed 20 plus years ago. What, the border, or what are you referring to? Amongst nine said, given the border in El Paso, Texas was closed at 1 Eastern today, he means exactly what he says. That's all we've been waiting for. That's all we've been waiting for. We don't need somebody who is perfect. And we don't need somebody who's going to be nice. We don't need somebody who's going to be a friend. We need somebody who's going to get shit done.
I don't know if you remember this. I was banned from campus. 2017. There are only two genders. Changed my mind. There's a change. It's now national policy.
Like that one.
And above all, China is operating the Panama Canal, and we didn't give it to China. We gave it to Panama, and we're taking it back.
Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah.
Xi Jinping just
a drink.
Wow. I shot him.
I'm not too sure about that one.
America will reclaim its rightful place as the greatest, most powerful, most respected nation on earth, inspiring the awe and admiration of the entire world. A short time from now, we are going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, and we will restore the name of a great president, William McKinley, to Mount McKinley, where it should be and where it belongs.
GMC's going to rename their truck.
By the way, go look up the pistol. Go look up the pistol that killed McKinley. It's really bizarre. Such a great president. He was taken out by a fruity gun.
Very rich. America will be respected again and admired again, including by people of religion, faith, and goodwill. We will be prosperous. We will be proud. We will be strong, and we will win like never before. We will not be conquered. We will not be intimidated. We will not be broken. And we will not fail. From this day on, the United States of America will be a free, sovereign, and independent nation. We will stand bravely. We will live proudly. We will dream boldly. And nothing will stand in our way because we are Americans. The future is ours. And our golden age has just begun. Thank you. God bless America. Thank you all. Thank you.
God bless you, sir.
Let's go. And of course, not only, as King Nirvana is saying here, is it weird for third world countries to hear a president educating people on how many genders there are, but the fact that people applauded as if that wasn't a normal thing. I'm sure they obviously know what's going on here, but in that context, I completely agree. It's insanity. Insanity. Shout out to Dylan Soup. Welcome to the party, sir. And oh my goodness, Funk Master General. Thank you so very, very much, sir. Of course, every donation comes with a treat for Morty. Funkmaster said now come the days of the king. So do some push-ups, son. What? Oh, did we miss the goal? We missed the goal. So what? Where should we put it? Let's say $50 for 25 push-ups. Let's do it. We're at $42. Someone other? Funk, you can only put down $4 more towards the goal. There we go. Everybody else, get us to 50, and I'm doing push-ups. Dylan said, I'm beyond happy for my president. 47. Let's go. You can make whatever goal you want, buddy. You can make whatever goal you want. I love it. All right. So where were we? So, speaking of executive actions and what needs to be done, the work that needs to be done, there is indeed a lot, and it does indeed need to be done. So, let's take a look over here and do that and that and that. Let's see if I missed any of these. Whoa, what the hell is that? There we go. I sent for Funk. Don't we all? We should all. That should be everybody.
It was so simple. What he said, it just made me real. He said, nobody does that. It's so true. When the left says all cultures are equal, okay. What about places like Saudi Arabia or cultures across the Middle East where they use up every single resource possible, and you say it's morally repugnant to allow offshore drilling here? Let's go on to what Donald Trump should do on day number 1.
And again, you guys know I'm not a huge Crowder fan in general, but I like the way that he's done this and the highlights there. But this notion of the 5 executive orders, and again, he's already done more than 5 executive orders as we speak. But in terms of what is most important, what are we looking for to continue this good start? All right, back in.
Thank Island. Yes. Or tax incentives.
Yes.
To send number 1. Let's go on. Stank Island. Yes.
Stank Island? What the hell is Stank Island?
On day number 1. Nuke Stank Island. Yes. Or tax incentives.
Yes.
To send the major Hollywood studios. There we go. Send all of Marvel to Snake Island.
Oh, come on.
Snake Man.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
What are they talking
Ant-Man doesn't stand a chance. Ant-Man's the least into.
Okay, come on.
So inauguration day. The reason is because we have 3 days until inauguration day. Best day, as some of you refer to it. I don't, but you do. And Donald Trump has, of course, made plenty.
We got to just get to the stuff.
Never abuse power. No
What is it that he plans to do? For those who don't remember, here's a refresher on some of those.
Under no circumstances, you are promising America tonight, you would never abuse power as retribution against anybody.
Except for day 1. Before I even arrive at the Oval Office, I will have the disastrous war between Russia and Ukraine settled. It will be settled quickly. On day 1, I will seal the border, stop the invasion, and send Joe Biden's illegal aliens the hell back home. I'm a big believer.
Shout out to Trey Williams with a $2 cash app. Thank you so very, very much, sir. Guys, we are almost there. There we go. Yummy. Thank you. That's 44, guys. $6 away. We are $6 away. M169 said there's an island that's full of snakes. Can't recall where it is at the moment. Okay, so they're talking about a specific island, Australia style. Just send them over. Okay, I was like, what are they talking about? What is going on? Thank you for that.
In tariffs. I think tariffs are the most beautiful word. I think they're beautiful. It's going to make us rich. But they took away 625 million acres of offshore drilling. Nobody else does that. And they think they have it, but we'll put it back. I'm going to put it back on day 1. I'm going to have it revoked on day 1. I love this guy. He says, you're not going to be a dictator, are you? I said, no, other than day 1. We're closing the border and we're drilling.
You know,
there we go. We should have called it should have been called Dictator Day. It should have been called Dictator Day. That's how we really go dark. MAGA.
It was so simple what he said. It just made me real. He said, no, nobody does that. It's so true. When the left says all cultures are equal, okay. What about places like Saudi Arabia or cultures across the Middle East where they use up every single resource possible, and you say it's morally repugnant to not to allow offshore drilling here? Are those cultures equal?
Snake Island is off the coast of Brazil or maybe Colombia. I don't know. It's one of those. All right. Well, see, learning new stuff every Liberation Day.
These are untenable positions from the left. Well, they can't be equal because they're doing things that you say are raping the equivalent of raping the earth. That's exactly.
But even if they weren't, like, just the fact that they're different means that they're not equal. Just the fact that they're different means that they're not equal. And that's okay. But we don't have to pretend that everything is equal.
Because they're doing things that you say are raping the equivalent of raping the earth. That's exactly what Ashley Judd said, raping the earth, right? I got in trouble. I made a joke about it at CPAC in 2011. They had to call me to the second floor in Fox News and say, you can't make a joke about raping Ashley Judd. I said, I didn't make a joke about raping Ashley Judd. I made a joke about the divine secrets of the sisterhood raping my wallet.
Yes, that is much different.
And I was
can see why they were confused,
for 2 weeks.
Really? With pay?
For that? Imagine 20-something-year-old me on primetime Fox News for like 3-4 nights a week. It was a disaster.
Okay, see, this is why I'm not the biggest fan of Crowder. It's because like he tries too hard to be the comedy show when he's trying to act like he's the political show. Do you want to be politics or do you want to be comedy? One has to come first. You can be funny and do politics, but you have to be the politics guy that's funny, or you got to be the funny guy that talks about politics. He's more in line with like the Hodge twins, which I think, they're funny, but they don't really give a lot of substantive value to what they're covering. So not really my cup of tea. Gomlik said it's Brazil. Looked it up. What is this newfound contraption called? Google? What? Well, I mean, some of us are trying to run a show, but I don't know. Thank you for the information.
It was an absolute disaster. So according to Donald Trump, he has about 100 executive orders ready for day one. And, the person who really opened the floodgates on that, you could argue George W. Bush, but certainly Barack Obama executive orders where a pen does something and then a pen undoes it and then a pen redoes it. Not a big fan of that, but that's where we are now. So it has to be done considering how corrosive the executive orders or actions have been from former Vice President Biden. So.
And of course, that could be seen as, just making excuses and like, well, they started it, no, you started it. And if it's wrong, then it's wrong and you shouldn't do it. But I do agree that we're kind of at a place where we got here by taking the high road, by not being willing to do the BS. I think it's fair to be ready to fight fire with fire. We've been trying, but you gotta, or you're saying he's trying to do, yeah, right.
What power does Donald Trump have as far as carrying out executive actions? What can he do? We're going to go through 5 examples of what I would like to see here day one, and all references are available, link in the description, so you can verify it for yourself. I encourage that you do, and I actually encourage you to hold any programs that you watch accountable if they don't provide you with references. So, number 5.
No reference for you.
My opinion. Pardon all January 6th, folks.
Done.
And every single person there who wasn't given due process, which, by the way, is
1 out of 5. Done. 1 for 1, baby. Let's keep it rolling.
Everybody. So the problem that we have here, right, is that more than 1,500 people from January 6th were charged with crimes. About 1,200 pled guilty or they were convicted. The average jail sentence was 2 years. Some are still in jail. But here's the thing. Some are still in jail. You can't find the number. Okay. And the vast majority of these people, all they did was trespass or vandalize. Let's assume that everyone there did that. And that's not true. But let's just take the people who did trespass or commit vandalism. I have, by the way, I've trespassed. You know what I got? What? I couldn't return to that juice land in Austin for 1 year. And I did.
Oh, you rap.
That's like jaywalking. It's like, I mean, yeah, it's bad. You're not supposed to be places you're not supposed to be, but is it worth 4 years in jail? I don't think so. And that's only the people who have charges. If I'm not mistaken, up until today, there was people who were being held without even charges brought on them. Double check me on that one.
Rapscallious. I did. Yes, I did. There's no statute of limitations. They can't go after me.
No,
right now. Okay.
not, yeah.
So what you have to say, we don't live in a country of rule and law just because we have rules and laws. Is it applied equally? Well, let's look at trespassing. It's usually a fine at most 0 to 6 months. And if it's your first time, no one gets time in jail for trespassing. You have people who have done 2 years without due process for trespassing. That's very different from don't go back to the juice land for a year. It is not being applied equally. Yeah. And this is part of the controversy because
hey, we gotta give some recognition here. Funk said, Quantac, you just watch videos about poisonous snakes. And Quantac said, Funk, I watched enough. Biden and Fauci on it. Well said, sir. Well said.
For a year. It is not being applied equally. Yeah. And this is part of the controversy because Vance kind of walked it back and said, well, of course, not anyone who was violent. And the problem is you don't know who was violent because we know that much of the evidence was falsified. And of course, due process was violated. So it no longer applies.
So yeah, apparently I stole it straight from him. But you know, sometimes you hear stuff and I thought I heard it before, but whatever. But yeah, that brings up a good point about if we're talking about, okay, well, the violent people then should have this, that, or whatever. But if you had somebody who was charged with battery, and then they pleaded down to trespassing or something else, then how do you tell the difference?
You don't know who was violent. Someone could be labeled violent because they tried to throw the book at a trespasser and they pled guilty to a lesser charge. Why? Because they didn't want their lives destroyed. So I think complete carte blanche, because now we're at the point where no one should be in jail in any capacity. Pardon everyone.
Done,
we're at
baby.
a point where, guess what? Popular
Done.
sentiment, at least a significant portion of the population would agree with you. So like Proud Boys, their leader, Enrique Tarrio, which sounds very much like a white supremacist. He wasn't even...
A shout out to King Nirvana with the $2. Thank you so very, very much, sir. And of course, a treat for Morty. Said, you can take my money, but you can't take my freedom. You're goddamn right. Thank you so very, very much. Holding me up on this struggle of all struggle streams. Thank you very, very much. We got you. Quantex said, snake in a platypus suit, the most deceptive creature. What was the thing we were? What was the thing where I was talking about a sheep in sheep's clothing? Something like that. Quantex, you were definitely there. What was that? I said that, but I don't remember exactly what it is. But I think it was good. Do you remember? Either way, it's spot on.
Proud Boys, their leader, Enrique Tarrio, which sounds very much like a white supremacist. He wasn't even there. He wasn't even there that day. He was sentenced to 22 years.
But he said things on the internet. He said, go get him. He said, go get him. Or something.
In prison.
It's insane.
Jeez.
So it comes down to what can Donald Trump do, right, when we're dealing with executive orders? What authority does he have? The good news is on this one, he can pardon whoever he wants.
Yeah.
Oh,
he can pardon whoever he wants. He can also order his AG to shut.
Right, I forgot about that. When the libs were they were trying to say that I'm a wolf in sheep's clothing by being, I don't know, okay with Christian values, and they couldn't seem to understand that, like, I'm not lying about accepting Christians. Like, that's weird. Good memory. M1C9 said, Brandon Straka just got word that he got a full pardon. There we go. He officially had like 3 or 4 more days on his post-release control. Well, there we go. A big shout out to Brandon Straka and the Walk Away campaign. We got Carl's Frosted Tits in the building. Welcome to the party, sir. Said Trump Nation. Fuck Stetter and John. Fuck Biden. And fuck the libs. Hell yeah. He did, bro. He did. We done. That's out. That's done. They free. Let freedom ring. Hell yes. Welcome to the party. We are just going over some good stuff that should be done just like that and he's talking about it here. Said his list, Trump's list includes starting up the mass. Oh, no, this is the next one. This is the next one. All right, let me back this up a second. But welcome to the party. Thank you so very much, Carl's Frosted Tips.
He can pardon whoever he wants. Yeah. He can pardon whoever he wants. He can also order his AG to shut down any ongoing investigations. That is completely within the bounds of presidential authority, his executive authority, and it is completely within line as far as how it's been practiced in the past. We just saw.
Okay, well, then what was this? Trump on day one, begin deportation push. Okay. So it's just putting everything together. So his list, his list of executive orders. There we go. The list, starting the mass up. Jesus Christ, guys. His list includes starting up the mass deportation of migrants, rolling back Biden administration policies on education, reshaping federal government by firing potentially thousands of federal employees he believes are secretly working against him, and pardoning people who were arrested for their role in the riot on the Capitol. That's another big one too. The Doge stuff. I'm very excited to see where that is going to go. Now, I mean, Vivek and Elon were, kind of took a misstep with the H-1B visas thing. I don't know. We'll see. But either way, I am very excited about it. We got Ed's Funhouse in the building. Welcome to the party. Thank you so much for the 199. Said deport, Pash, National Concealed Carry. I love it. And of course, a treat for Morty. Thank you so very, very much. Welcome to the party. You coming over? Yay! And Ed gets here. He's like, I want to come to the party. Welcome. MLC9 said they are coming home. Folks were waiting at the DC jail to give rides to anyone who needed one. There you go. That is what it's all about. Community. I wonder how many of the people who were in jail for like 5 seconds for rioting because they were leftist had people they didn't know waiting for them on the outside. Unless they were paid by Kamala's GoFundMe, then probably not at all. Government said, how much you want to bet a J6 will get paid off to come out against Trump? Like, if it wasn't for that bastard, I would have never been in jail in the first place. Maybe, but like, I don't know. I don't know how. I mean, I think you're right, but I'm curious. I'm thinking about how far is that actually going to go? Because it's not like Trump ever said anything specific about violence and breaking in. That's on you. I think a lot of the people that were there, the whole thing is that, like, yeah, we did that. Trump didn't make us do that. And, obviously he incited the notion that was the spot where stuff was going on and to go and make your voices heard. But if somebody's saying this, then it's just like, nope. That's on you, homie. That's on you. I'm pretty sure we're all 3 steps ahead of the lamestream media at this point. I mean, it seems like it, but I don't know. They've been too quiet. They're cooking something up. They are cooking something up, and I do not like it. But that's where we use that advantage. We're 3 steps ahead now. They're coming with something, but we will be ready.
Investigations. That is completely within the bounds of presidential authority, his executive authority, and it is completely within line as far as how it's been practiced in the past. We just saw it with some preemptive pardons, which, by the way, is also with historical context.
Yeah, he should absolutely do this day one. And it's going to piss a few people off on the left, especially people like Enrique Tarrio, because they look at him as like the ringleader, the person who organized it. Sure. He wasn't there. It doesn't matter. He was the one organizing all of this stuff. No.
Yeah, you remember how when Luke Beasley was on the Culture War talking to Tim about this stuff, and he just folded. And that's exactly, you know that he believes not only does he belong in jail, but that he is an actual terrorist. Crazy.
No, you're right. This has become such a farce. Like, you have to throw everything out and go, look, next time, if there's a situation that you want to go ahead and put on a trial in Congress, Make sure that you have people from the other side. Make sure you present all the evidence.
Exactly.
Okay?
Exactly.
You want to do this in public? Do it right. And then make sure the legal process is actually fair.
And investigate.
A little side question. What do you guys think about them moving the inauguration indoors? They say it was because of the weather. Do you believe them? Or do you think it had something to do maybe a little bit with, the sassy nations? I'm glad they did it. I'm glad it's done, but I don't know.
Exactly.
You want to do this in public? Do it right. And then make sure the legal process is actually fair.
And investigate the investigators.
Yep.
That's my opinion. Number 4. Okay, what you can do. Completely withdraw from the Paris Accord and all Green New Deal, eco-like, neo-Gaia environmentalism policies.
Yup. We don't need any of that faux environmentalism stuff. I mean, it may come from a real level of wanting to help, but it doesn't. Mr. Nine said, apparently Trump pardoned Beverly Williams, too. She was locked up for protesting and praying at an abortion. She got 3 abortion clinics. She got 3 years. Oh, good. That was a huge one for free speech. Again, even though I might be an atheist, as we've heard so many other times, I may abhor what you are saying, but I will fight to the death for your right to say it. I mean, yeah, but how common is that? I mean, it's got to be cold in January all the time. How common is that? And that's a genuine question. I don't know. Yeah, and so I understand it was done for both reasons. So it's not unprecedented, but yeah, we're going. That's going back 30 years. So I don't know. Either way, I am glad.
New Deal, eco-like, neo-Gaia environmentalism policies.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why is because, of course, the Paris Accord is horrible for the United States of America, right? You just look at the regulations and what it would cost. It would cost American jobs, thousands, right? We could see a $2.5 trillion loss in GDP by 2035. Oof. 87% of American energy comes from coal, oil, natural gas, right? The boogeyman, as is known in the Paris Climate Accord.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, the reason that Elon Musk left the Trump administration last time, because he was adamant about us signing on to it. So this agreement requires America to take part in a $100 billion a year fund to subsidize green energy in poor nations.
What?
Nope.
Nah, I'm good.
Nope, we shouldn't do it. And also, by the way, just like the Live Aid concerts, we found out that the money largely went to corrupt governments. I don't know if you know this, but the only way to subsidize green energy is usually to go through the government because it's not cost effective for...
Hold on, wait a minute. You're telling me that this establishment BS that's been pushed is going into the pockets of the people putting it on? Couldn't believe it.
Companies to try and take that risk. So it goes to the government, just like Live Aid. When that happened, it went to a government that was effectively committing genocide. So, oops, whoopsies. You actually killed more people.
Death Aid.
It would make zero difference to the environment. Okay, it would make none. Why?
Well,
because the United States only makes up about 16% of global emissions. China.
Okay, but then it would make 16% of a difference. But that's if we got rid of all emissions. 16% out of obviously 100. Not nothing, but damn near nothing.
31%. 31%, and they're not going to be signing on or playing ball, to be clear.
They signed the Paris Accords, right?
China? No.
India, they signed it, right?
No.
And 15% of the U.S. emissions.
I thought India, China, I thought they were spearheading the Green New Deal. No, I guess I must have been listening to Biden.
Taylor Swift.
That's true. That is true.
Very heavy.
Here's actually a helpful chart to show you
That's
what
my girlfriend.
That data looks like. For those who are visual, I'm a visual person. Can you bring that up? It's yeah, there you go. Those are the emissions. China.
Yeah. So we got U.S. is higher than India and the EU, but ain't really doing much. Much.
We're already going down.
Wow. Gigatons.
Jeez.
I think that term is right.
And by the way, in 2022, China was building a new coal plant every single week.
Yes.
So isn't a common temperature for right now? Working it in makes me a sleepy wombat. Just existing in it, I'm not even out there, makes me a sleepy wombat. This time of year, I just feel like I'm just sludge, just trying to do anything. I hear you, man. I cannot imagine having to be out working in this. MS69 said how the fires in California wiped out every gain they say they had in CO2 emissions. If only the climate didn't change. Did you guys see? I can't play it here, but did you guys see when Bill Burr was on Jimmy Kimmel? And somebody got on the internet saying, "Oh, this is mismanaged." Oh, I didn't know you were an expert. It's like, no. We were listening to the experts that already said this is mismanaged. It sucks because I really like Bill Burr, but he's one of those LA guys that thinks he's based because everybody around him is super LA, and he's not. He is, for a rich LA person, he is very everyman, but he's not an everyman. It's not that he's faking. He's just not quite, he's not self-aware.
So
that's impressive.
Oh, I do have the Elon Musk quote.
Yeah.
He said, I'm departing the presidential councils. Climate change is real. Leaving Paris is not good for America or the world.
Wrong.
Stupid.
June 1st, 2020.
Maybe, you know what? I would love to hear. Has he changed his mind on
What changed?
Because since now he's MAGA, has he changed it? Because there couldn't be anything more anti-MAGA than the Paris Climate Accord. It is.
That's a good point, actually. I would definitely like to hear him articulate, well, what changed? Because there's definitely a thing among the tech oligarchs kind of cozying up to the right. And, Elon has been free speech and all that stuff long before he was in with Trump. But again, I would like to hear what exactly changed. Did you just learn more? That's good enough, but I just want to hear it.
Cutting ourselves off at the knees and making our nation less competitive with those who want to destroy us. And it won't help those other nations because it'll just go to corrupt governments. There's no good that can come of it. Yep. None. And it's actually a net loss when you take into account how it would actually hamper technological innovation, how it would kneecap, our ability to come up with it. We'll come up with new energy as we need to.
Yeah.
But the government can't force it. It's not worked. It won't work. And what can Donald Trump do here? Well, here's the good news. He can unilaterally just withdraw. Boom. Done.
Yep.
Let me show you how. 2015, it was entered into by Obama. I believe back then it was the Kyoto Protocol. So it was a Montreal agreement. Then it turned into the Kyoto Protocol. Then it turned into the Paris Climate Accord. Mission Control can fact check me. I'm 99% sure I'm right on that. I was in Cancun when it was still the Kyoto Protocol. So it was entered into by Obama 2015.
See, if this was more what Crowder was like on a not a day-to-day basis, he does, list out a lot of facts and stuff, but on an hour-to-hour basis. If it was a little bit more like this and a little less like, let's make jokes and then make a funny face at the camera.
Donald Trump withdrew. 2017, lost Elon Musk as a result. 2021, Biden re-entered it into this accord, executive order, day one. By the way, he can also revoke every single executive action that Biden has taken on climate policy.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And by the way, it was almost 8 years ago, Elon. Did you change your mind?
Yeah.
That's 8 years. Okay, fine. You can maybe do some research then.
I mean, that's a really anti-American, anti-human stance.
Yes.
That's my perspective. I can't think of anything more un-American than putting us at the mercy, the whims of other nations who won't play by those same rules.
I forgot how rambly he is. Because again, I don't watch him regularly at all. But he's so rambly. Like, just say the thing. It's a list of what? Five things. And it's longer than the last video. The average January temperature in DC is usually between 35 and 40, or well below average. Fair enough.
Definition poorer nations.
Yes, exactly.
By their own definition.
You know what they need? Energy. Cheap, plentiful energy, not wind turbines.
Absolutely. Also, number 3, this brings us to the third thing Donald Trump should do, is kickstart again, bring back American energy, because the problem that we've been dealing with, this, we've seen high energy prices, they've gone up across the board.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, according to Biden, he's just doing a study. That's not actually true. We're just doing a study. It's just a study. That's all I signed, a study.
This is a big part of inflation. Under Biden, energy prices went up by more than 30%. And you can say, oh, that's just happenstance. And, I've heard the argument from the left that everyone has seen inflation. But again, a lot of nations have seen inflation because they've signed on to this neo-environmentalist movement, to be clear. So
yeah, isn't that the circular logic of this thing causes inflation? Well, no, you're seeing inflation everywhere. Did everywhere sign on to this thing? Yeah, but how do you know then? Like, wait, a little different.
It's not a chicken or the egg thing, but here in the United States, Biden banned offshore drilling. He killed Keystone Pipeline XL. Just to be clear, I believe he did that day one, or he did it within the first month. And he also paused all new oil and gas leases. So you saw prices go up by over 30%. And that's, well, it's a direct correlation to your grocery store prices, to all of your goods, services, because energy affects everything.
Yeah. Day one killed Keystone Pipeline. And also kind of on the other side of that, he allowed Nord Stream 2 to go forward.
Right.
So not only did he make it harder on us, he made it easier on them at the same time.
I can't think of anything more anti-MAGA.
Yeah.
And that is the stance of the Paris Climate Accord.
Yeah. By the way, we got word.
Now, I remember that when he, in his last term, when he was leaving, I was trying to argue with my dad about why it was bad to leave the climate accords. That's insane. That's insane. How quickly things can change. And I was trying to argue, that there's all these emissions, and it's not even a political thing. That if you just think about things, then humans we've been in the industrial age for so long, so there's got to be more emissions in the sky. That's the only thing that makes sense. Didn't really understand. It's a little bit more complicated than that. MLC9 said the fastest way to lift people out of poverty is cheap energy. And remember, on the campaign trail, when Trump was asked, how are you going to bring down the prices of groceries and gas? And he said, energy. I know it's not sexy, but energy, energy, energy. That is the way to do it.
Word that China did sign on to it. They just laugh anytime we try to enforce any parts of it.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. Like, no. Yeah, we signed, but aren't you building another coal plant? No, well, it's still murky on the rule book.
That's basketball court.
Yeah, that's right. LeBron, go.
Well, they signed it, so
Research also verified it was the Kyoto Protocol in 2005 evolved into and replaced by Paris Accord 2015.
2015. Okay. So, and before that was the Montreal Agreement. Sorry, I know I lived in Montreal. I'm ashamed of it too.
Yeah.
And
I was going to say, I didn't even know that there was a version of it before. That's how out of this world I was. Yikes.
To give you an idea, you saw groceries go up 22%, right? Everything. Heating, it doubled under Biden. So all of this, direct result of not using.
What do we got here? What do we got here? So we got energy prices soar almost 30% under Biden, 13 times faster than under the previous 7 years. Since January 21, electricity prices have soared 29% to 50%, more than overall inflation, rising 13 times faster than the previous 7 years, according to a Wall Street Journal analysis of the Bureau of Labor Statistics data. So it says high grocery prices drove Americans to vote for Trump, but they shouldn't expect to pay less over the next 4 years. New York CNN said Americans are shelling out 22% more for groceries compared to when President Joe Biden took office on January 2021, according to October Consumer Price Index inflation data. And then these things, what are we even? I can't even see what this is. I literally can't even see what these words are. So I guess just good, bad, and then good, and then bad, and then good, and then bad, and then good. That's what we're talking about, I guess.
Our own energy. What can Donald Trump do? He can immediately reverse all of Biden's anti-energy policies and actions. So he can undo the banning, the limiting of offshore drilling, stopping the leases on federal land.
This one says, following his inauguration next Monday, Trump is expected to instruct agencies to begin unwinding President Biden's drilling on offshore and federal land, oil lobbyists said. Among other orders, he is planning to push for a rollback of the tailpipe emissions rule he's described as an EV mandate and resume approvals for plants that export U.S. natural gas. I'm for it, baby.
That's what Biden did. He can undo that, resume them. He can approve plants that can actually export American natural gas. I don't know if you remember this. We were a net energy exporter for the first time in modern American history under Donald Trump. That's no small thing.
Yep.
So it's one of those issues where people go, well, how much can the
that's another point where it's like, if you guys actually cared about the things that you say you cared about, then you'd be like, okay, well, that's huge. That's really good. But either you don't care, or you're too far into, I want a stronger word, but like aggressive media that is just there to make you hate, whether it's hate other people for voting a different way, thinking a different way, acting a different way, or to hate Trump himself. It's that simple.
all thing. So it's one of those issues where people go, well, how much can the president really do? On this, a lot. That's what we're trying to focus on today. What he can do himself that would be within the constitutional bounds of executive authority. Number two, and this is one that, this is why he was elected. Close the border. Okay, you guys already know the problem. The estimate now is 18 million. Right, 18 million illegals have entered.
18, that seems low. That seems low. Because I remember when Obama was still in office, they were saying 11 million. Then we've heard numbers as high as 20 million more than the original 11 million. So 18 is a very conservative estimate. And then all these reports saying just 68% of illegal border crossings get caught, meaning more than most or more than half just go on by. In July 26 opinion piece in the Washington Examiner, commentary editor cites analysis that estimates just 68% of migrants entering illegally at the southwest border are actually apprehended. If correct, the true number of migrants who have entered illegally this year is close to 1.6 million, and the Biden border crisis is much larger than eye-popping official statistics suggest. So it's a non-immigrant overstays overview and policy. Unauthorized. For example, what? 2019, the Center for Migration Studies estimated the number of individuals overstaying exceeded the number of those entering the country without inspection from at least fiscal year 2010 through 2017. But what is the EU? But still contributed to the crossings at that border constituted 58% of the unauthorized population in 2014. Bottom ones that Joe Biden's administration admitted transporting migrants on secret flights into the U.S. For lawyers and its immigration. Yeah, we saw that aplenty.
You guys already know the problem. The estimate now is 18 million. Right, 18 million illegals have entered the United States under Joe Biden. That's more than the population of 30-something states.
Okay, they're saying 18. Oh, let me do that. Oh, God. And they're saying 18 just under Biden. That would make a little bit more sense. If it was 18 just under Biden.
So you guys have seen the skyrocketing and depending on your city, crime, right? Even terrorism, Lake and Riley, Jocelyn Nungre, you saw what happened in the New York City subway where a woman was lit on fire. The kind of cruelty that we've sort of been shielded from in the modern world. Well, I don't know if you know this, that's the kind of thing that happens in these countries. And 18 million people have come from them.
Yeah, but I was on Red Note and the Chinese people there said that China's so much better.
It's like, oh, okay, yeah, person was set on fire. You haven't seen that before? That's how they react, right? This, of course, has driven down wages for Americans. You know that. And it's been a strain. We've talked about this.
Anything worth reading here? That seems like they're just giving sources. But, Venezuelan man convicted of killing Lake and Riley.
Wall would cost, anywhere from 20, let's say 40 billion high end. The highest estimate I've ever seen is 50 billion. The most accurate I've seen is 20-something billion dollars. Okay. Let's go with $50 billion to build the wall as a starting point. Illegal immigrants, we're not even talking about people here in H-1B, just illegal immigrants cost the American taxpayer a minimum of $150 billion a year to $450 billion a year. But the number is what we're talking about on immigration. So let me get.
And if you get raped by a pack of n***ers, it'll be your fault.
That has nothing to do. I'm not even. I'm advocating against it. We're on the same.
That's less the problem. More problem inflation. Jeez.
And I remember that number very clearly because it used to be 116 billion when I did the build the wall. Changed my mind.
It's gone up
quickly. And when I used to do that, I'd be protested as a white supremacist racist. Now it turns out most Americans support it. So most Americans are white supremacists, and that's actually what left it.
Well, that's the playbook, right? It's like first bad thing is not happening. Then bad thing is happening just a little bit. You're racist, that's still step 2. Bad thing's happening a little bit, but that's just a random thing. Then we go to step 3. Of course it's happening. You don't like it, you bigot. How dare you?
Just say what Donald Trump can do here. Does he have the authority? A whole bunch of executive actions. So, for example, he could reinstate the travel ban. He could suspend all refugee admissions or take a look at them. He could get rid of that. I mean, this should be given the migrant phone app.
Yeah.
Well, after you afford them.
Yeah. He could start negotiation.
Oh, if you guys have not seen the video of people at the border crying, seeing their app not working, we are gonna get there. It is it's bittersweet because obviously you don't want to take pride or take joy in other people's pain. That's not the point. But it's like none of this needed to happen. We will. Let me find that.
On the Remain in Mexico policy, he could send the National Guard to the border, and of course, he could at least start the reconstruction of the border wall. Just to be clear, and this time next week, when migrants are looking for directions to the United States with that app, if he can't outright delete it, you could just you could adapt it. Like this could be what they see.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's bad news.
It is bad. Check back next week.
America is closed today.
I don't think Dios mío is ever said in a good context, right?
No, it's no.
Ay, Dios.
It's like, oh my God.
Is it usually followed up by no me gusta?
I don't know. I'm not an expert.
Again, I went to Twitter to try find a video, and of course, not there.
On the culture, but
why do I keep doing that?
I thought you were for some reason. I feel like you know more about Latin culture than I do.
I know a few things.
Why is that? You know a few things.
I know a few things.
Well, because I don't know why. He just understands. He's a man of the world.
I am a worldly man. I've traveled. I've been around. As the Beach Boys said, I get around.
You have fit. Do they? Wait. Oh, that's right. They did say that.
I get around.
I thought it was just that whore on 18th Street who said it.
Well,
no, that's from their hits albums right after Ay Dios mío.
Yes.
Ay Dios mío. Ay Dios.
No, me gusta. No, me gusta. No, me gusta.
Ay Dios mío.
No me gusta. No.
So again, like guys, all right, you're funny, but like we're here to try to understand the 5 executive actions Trump should take. We don't want to hear you singing about BS.
Hey, you're going to be Josh.
I'll be in Spokane, Washington.
Spokane, Washington.
Do you guys know what I'm talking about? There's a video going around of a woman crying because her app isn't working. If somebody could find that for me, I would very much appreciate it. I'm looking for it as well. But
the name
it's where
reported and disposed. Yeah, the bathrooms. There's a
diva because if I might have
talk to him while he's for 4 or 6 hours sometimes,
and it was a thimble. Well,
keeps it with him to this day.
Still just bullshitting
of Hopper. God rest weird stuff.
But
it was like
right.
This is why I watch everything at 2 times speed.
Has to come. No. She would.
Yeah.
Imagine, man. Keeps it.
We still have not gotten to the next one.
Can be great.
Right? No, she's Hawaii.
Is he Hawaii?
I hate Hawaii. Now,
how do you hate
number
Hawaii?
Number one thing.
That all that time was spent just bullshitting. All that time was just spent bullshitting around. That's why how long is this video? This is a 28-minute video for 5 things. Sorry.
Donald Trump should do. Day number 1, not just build a wall, start mass deportations. And I don't just say that because it actually enjoys. All
right, that was anticlimactic. I'm gonna pull a little bit of an audible here. Guamzek said, "I prefer Jimmy Dore's comedy, less mean-spirited and actually has a punchline." Yeah, and I mean, it's fine when if you're just messing around with your boys and whatever, or boys being boys and all of that. That's fine. But again, we're here for a specific purpose. So again, if anybody knows, can find that video and send it to me, that would be great. But shout out to the liberal hive mind. Another bit of what Trump has been doing on his first day. And this is the last video I have, but I did see that there was stuff of all those executive orders. We will check out what has been signed already.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Isn't it great how everything that's happening right now is literally the opposite of what the left told us would happen?
So if you can't read the card, it's Kamala holding it and says, Mountain Tavern, you have been cut off. Please leave quietly and no one will know. It has been a pleasure to serve you, but it's time for you to leave for the night. Forever. Thank you, M169. We'll do that. Should we do that first? Or should we do that here? I forget what this is. So we'll do this, and then we'll do that, and then we'll do that. All right. Thank you very much.
We went through an entire year of this election with Democrats telling us that the sky was falling or that the sky would fall if Donald Trump got elected.
Don't forget, they also did that to a very good effect in 2016. So the fact that they not only tried the playbook, and even though Donald Trump won in a landslide, it wasn't, I mean, a lot of people still voted for Kamala. I mean, do not underestimate the power of propaganda.
A fascist, he's a tyrant, World War III, he's gonna weaponize the justice system to go after innocent people. They said all of this stuff, the world would fall apart, the world would plunge into chaos, and then Donald Trump wins the election, becomes the president-elect, and almost instantly the world starts healing. We've been talking about this for a while, from what's going on in the Middle East, Ukraine, the economy, trade. Almost instantly, the moment Donald Trump won, it felt like things started to get better, even though the left told us the exact opposite would happen, and now that trend continues, as even now the border crisis is starting to fix itself, and I'm saying that purposely, before Donald Trump even takes office. You guys aren't going to believe this report, or you're definitely going to believe this report. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that. The world is healing. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so we've got an amazing story making the rounds here. Apparently, illegal migrants have now started to self-deport. I guess in the end, it really is true that illegal migrants are doing the jobs that Americans don't want, because now they're doing ICE's job for them. But jokes aside, this is nothing short of incredible. Just take a look.
Right now. So before we get there, let's switch over. Shout out to M169 for grabbing this for us. Well, let's get the, it says, we'll get there now. Migrants crying as their immigration appointments are canceled and they realize they don't get to milk America dry. So they shut down the app, the CB whatever app, the immigration app. And obviously, people are constantly migrating, and this happened. And again, there's no, at least with me, there's nothing here like, ha ha, you deserve it. Oh, ha. I'm not laughing at her. I'm laughing at the absurdity of the situation that a president of the United States would create this. That is what is funny to me, not people's pain. You're right there, and it's just like not working. I mean, I thought I was mad when TikTok stopped working, but damn. And what else is M169 got for us here? Said breaking. President Trump revoked the security clearances of former 50 intel officers who falsely suggested Hunter's laptop was a laptop from hell was a Russian disinformation. The list is as follows: James Clapper, Michael Hayden, Leon Panetta, John Brennan. All of these people. Let's see if any names I recognize. Rasmussen, is that from the polls? Russell Tavers, Andrew Lieberman, Larry Pfeiffer, I know that name from somewhere. All these motherfuckers going down. Don Hepburn. We got David Price here. Who else? I don't know. Nick Shapiro. That sounds familiar because of Ben, obviously. Oh no, I'm thinking Josh Shapiro. I don't know who that is. Word up. What does the actual thingamajigger say? Is this all like? Okay, so let's see what they're actually telling them. By authority vested in me as president by the Constitution of the laws of the United States of America, it is hereby ordered. Section 1. Purpose. In the closing weeks of the 2020 presidential campaign, at least 51 former intelligence officials coordinated with the Biden campaign to issue a letter discrediting the report that President Joseph R. Biden's son had abandoned his laptop at a computer repair business. Signatories of the letter falsely suggested that the news story was part of a Russian disinformation campaign. Before being issued, the letter was sent to the CIA pre-publication classification review board, the body typically assigned to formally evaluate the sensitive nature of documents prior to publication. Senior officials are made aware of the contents. Multiple people that held clearances maintained ongoing contractual relationships with the CIA. Surprise, surprise. Federal policymakers must be able to rely on analysis conducted by the intelligence community and be confident that it is accurate, crafted with professionalism, and free from politically motivated engineering to affect political outcomes in the United States. The signatories willfully weaponize the gravitas of the intelligence community to manipulate the political process and undermine our democratic institutions. This fabrication of the I don't even know what this word is. Imprimatur? The fabrication of all that bullshit of the intelligence community to suppress information essential to the American people during a presidential election is an egregious breach of trust, reminiscent of a third world country. And now the faith of the Americans in all other patriotic intelligence professionals who are sworn to protect the nation has been imperiled. Wrong one. Imperiled. It's just not the same. We don't trust you anymore. We don't trust you anymore. Guantex. And one thing I can say I'm not totally on board with is cutting off birthright citizenship. I'm going to need a little more convincing on that one. I just don't like the idea of sending back families from the most vulnerable state they could be in, criminal or not. At least give them 6 months to prepare. I could be convinced, but I do think straight up sending them back with nothing is pretty mean-spirited. I don't think they should be taken care of totally here, but American can do better than that. I'm also kind of in the air about it. I mean, it because it clearly it's wrong. You shouldn't be able to just, enter somebody's house and take a shit there and be like, oh, home is where you shit at. Like, that's not how this works. And the fact that it kind of does work that way really exacerbates the problem. But I do hear what I would say. It seems to find the middle ground here would be something along the lines of maybe a 10 or 20 year, like as of 2003 or whatever. Coming out. Hi, bud. Hi, bud. Maybe you can help me. We're $2 away from getting push-ups. Maybe we can get that. Yeah, maybe like anybody who was here since 2000, or it's 2025. So let's call it 2005. 20 years. If you got here before then, you're good. But after that, like, you know what I mean? If we're talking about children, that's a whole 20 year thing. So either the parents are at an age where you can figure it out. Like, it's not nice, but it's like if some homeless person walks into your home, is it mean-spirited to be like, all right, like, bro, I'll even give you some money, but you cannot stay here. You cannot stay here. I don't know. Do you guys have any anything that would be like the nail in the coffin for birthright citizenship? MX9 said, I don't think Trump can legally end birthright citizenship. I get he's saying he can, but he'll be challenged on that. Well, there we go. And we know the man will definitely promise the world to get a little bit. That is one thing I had to learn over the years since 2015. Since 2015, that he says a lot of shit. You take him seriously, not literally. So yeah, if somebody knows what we can do is Tim had a video on that. We can check that one out, and we'll see what his specific argument is, because he's totally for it. And I didn't watch the whole thing, so we can check that out. But I'm right there with you in terms of being unsure, but not exactly for the same reasons. So all right, let's finish this about the nation being imperiled by the intelligence community. So it goes on to say national security is also damaged by the publication of classified information. former National Security Advisor John Bolton published a memoir for monetary gain after he was terminated from his White House position in 2019. The book was rife with sensitive information drawn from his time in government. The memoir's reckless treatment of sensitive information undermined the ability of future presidents to request and obtain candid advice on matters of national security from their staff. Publication was also created a grave risk that classified materials was publicly exposed. To remedy these abuses of public trust, this order directs the revocation of any active or current security clearances held by the former intelligence officials who engaged in misleading and inappropriate political coordination with the 2020 Biden presidential campaign and John Bolton. How much is that? Yeah. Okay. So then the policy, A, is the policy of the United States to ensure that the intelligence community not be engaged in partisan politics or otherwise used by a U.S. political campaign for electioneering purposes. The term intelligence community has the meaning given the term. What has the meaning given the term in Section 3003, Title 50 of the United States Code? I don't really know what this whole sentence means. I think it means like they just got to follow whatever in this, which they don't say. So. But B, it is a policy of the United States that individuals who hold government-issued security clearances should not use their clearance status to influence U.S. elections. It is a policy of the United States that classified information not be publicly disclosed in memoirs, especially those published for personal monetary gain. And Section 3, implementation, effective immediately. All these motherfuckers got. Look at it. Just look at it. Oh, what happened here with the... damn. So I will drop this link in the chat if you want to take a look at that for yourself. Come on, baby. Dylan Soup said John Bolton, aka Mustache McCain. Works. It works. So let's see. Okay, and then we're going back to the video. So that, yeah, all of that. And it's the first. It's his first day. It's his first day. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Is that what I wanted to do? That's what I wanted to do.
Now, Marky, it's unclear, but we are starting to see a trend, and this comes as cities across the U.S. and Mexico are now bracing for President-elect's deportation operation. But his hardline messaging on those deportation efforts have some.
Who hired this man? Why are you mumbling? I could barely understand what he's saying. Is it just me? This guy should not be working for the news.
Deportation operation, but his hardline messaging on those deportation efforts have some migrants panicking and some even choosing now to self-deport back to their home countries. I spoke with immigration attorney Rolando Vasquez, who tells me that some of the immigrants that he represents that entered under the Biden administration are now choosing to return home, fearing deportation under the incoming administration.
Just as recent as yesterday, they notified me that they were going to depart the country voluntarily. And understanding that, the Trump administration is going to carry through on their promises.
And again, guy, like, come on, get the framing right. What are we doing? What News Nation?
It's not just Trump's deportation plans that are influenced these decisions. Vasquez says it's also that Mexico is now open to accepting non-Mexican deportees. Mexico's move would impact Cuban and Venezuelan migrants the most, since those countries typically do not accept deportation flights from the U.S.
Yeah, like, come on, bro. You just said typically.
The most, since those countries typically do not accept deportation. Move would impact Cuban and Venezuelan migrants the most, since those countries typically do not accept deportation flights from the U.S., but may from Mexico.
This is called.
He should work for Biden. Whatever, whatever Jill Biden's going to do with the rest of her life, just feed Biden ice cream. I don't know, but they would get along. They would definitely get along.
Typically do not accept deportation flights from the U.S., but may from Mexico.
This is causing for many migrants to leave on their own, knowing that they're either going to be deported to their home country or be deported to Mexico. And
wow, so it's almost like the law and the person enforcing that law had a direct impact on whether or not people were going to come to this country or not. It's almost like we told you.
What did I tell you? Didn't I tell you? Because I told you. And when did I tell you? A long time ago. And what did I say? What?
I love being right. I love being right. Dylan said, I do think the birthright and immigration stuff becomes more complicated and nuanced as the harder cases and issues present themselves. But at least the obvious cases can be dealt with in Mexico. Deal with it in Mexico. But yeah, no, I agree. The more egregious cases should be where we start. Number one, because it's easier. It takes less government resources. And just there's more of a reason to get rid of people who are committing crimes and all that kind of stuff than somebody who is just sitting outside a Home Depot. Yeah, I mean,
point that they're either going to be deported to their home country or be deported to Mexico, and they obviously the overwhelming majority of them do not want to be in Mexico.
As of right now, it's unclear if Mexico has a plan to protect those deported migrants, Marky.
Yeah, border's about to change on Monday. At least that's what voters were promised. Jorge Ventura, thank you so much, live from San Antonio this morning.
The left loves to pretend that every issue is this massive, unsolvable, systemic crisis. But actually, it turns out that when you enforce the law, or in this case, simply signal that you're going to enforce the law, well, all of a sudden...
Right. It was already the law. It was already the law. Remember, don't come. Just don't come. Okay? Just okay. Don't come here. And then we'll give you a phone, we'll give you a flight, we'll give you hotel rooms, we'll give you food, we'll give you everything you could possibly need. But come November, you gotta find a way to vote for us.
Productive things start to happen. These leftoids have spent years telling us that illegal immigration, it's just too big of an issue. It's too complex, too systemic to deal with. The whole system.
It might be, but they're self-deporting.
Too big of an issue. It's too complex, too systemic to deal with. The whole system's broken. And that's why we're seeing the crisis that we're seeing at the border. They push these narratives that we need massive amnesty programs or open borders because there's...
I need to hear talk again, and then I can do it. When I think about it, I can't do it.
There's just no way that we can handle this issue. But when you actually start enforcing immigration laws, or when you even just signal that you're going to start enforcing immigration laws, when there's a real possibility of deportation, guess what happens? People start to self-deport. And also on the other end, people don't even try illegally crossing into the country in the first place. They decide that it's probably not worth the risk, and they simply leave on their own. It's not.
And again, we knew this. We understand humans. We understand human psychology. We understand incentives. We understand the differences in their country and our country. We understand all of this stuff. But the over-intellectualized academic people will always find a way to do backflips in their mind to create a reason why the simple thing cannot be done. It just can't be done. Just tell them you can't. Let's actually, make a law and then follow that law. Well, if you're stupid, then I guess you could try that. All right, then I will.
First place, they decide that it's probably not worth the risk, and they simply leave on their own. It's not rocket science, it's freaking common sense. But obviously, there's an important factor here. And
here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. That's the biggest thing I'm pissed about. That's the biggest thing I'm pissed about. I had it all queued up to start the show, unlike I normally would. Like, I'm bringing back common sense. Common sense. And I was going to cut to me, and then I messed that up. And then, oh my God, it's just today is not my day. Oh, I got to fix that banner. You guys got to remind me, my bad, Funkmaster. But of course, you are the sponsor.
It's not rocket science, it's freaking common sense. But obviously, there's an important factor here, and maybe that's what Democrats don't understand, and that's the factor of being genuine. That's the difference here, right? Donald Trump is actually real, he's genuine, he's authentic when he says, we are going to engage in the largest mass deportation campaign this country has ever seen. Well, he actually means it. Trust me when I say people perceive it as such. And that's why it's working, and it's also no surprise why this didn't work.
Do not come.
Kamala pleased with illegal migrants.
Okay, wait. Let's do that.
Why this didn't work?
Do not come.
Just listen, okay? Do not come to our country, all right? I know that we have a really big country and we have lots of money for everybody. You know, everybody needs money. You need to eat, you need to do things, and things cost money. And money isn't free. Once you have money, then you get more money. But if you don't have money, then you can't get money. So we need to help these people who don't have. What am I talking about? Oh, we got another clip here. Where are we with this? We'll grab that. Is let's see. What we got here? What we got here? All right, we'll drop that one after this. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's finish this one up. That was fun. Oh, thank you. I try. Like I told you, if I can hear it, then I can do it again. But just or if I'm just going off the cuff, it's in my mind back there. But when I try too hard, then it doesn't work. Where am I?
Kamala pleads with illegal migrants, don't come. But nobody actually took it seriously. Because while Kamala Harris was saying don't come, what was actually happening? The official.
See, if I had my thing, it would be so much funnier, but I'm gonna come. That's what happened.
Policy was pretty much everyone's welcome. Everyone's an asylum seeker. Everybody's a refugee. Just walk in the country. We'll give you a cell phone. We'll put you in a hotel. And you know what? We'll get you a plane ticket and fly you to your destination of choice. You want to go to the Big Apple? Well, it's your lucky day, amigo, because we're going to hook you up for an all expenses paid vacation in the middle of Manhattan. No wonder nobody took it seriously. They said don't come, but their policies and their rhetoric outside of that
said otherwise. Oh,
that was essentially an advertisement to come. And that's exactly what happened, right? Cartels were using Joe Biden and Kamala Harris as an advertisement for people to make the trek. But now finally, like I keep saying, I mean, the world is healing. These problems are going away. These problems are fixing themselves because this incoming administration is actually genuine. They're bringing in common sense policy approaches. They want to enforce the law, embrace and respect the Constitution. And clearly the message is being absorbed. And believe it or not, this
you would think this is what brings everybody together. That we just want common sense solutions to the issues that we actually have. Common sense solutions to the issues that we actually have. Not lip service. Not solutions to a problem that doesn't exist. Like there's not enough transits in the fire department. That's not a thing. I think we already played the lesbian firefighter who's like, oh, if I gotta carry your husband, then fuck your husband, right? But yeah, I mean, it's just so simple. I don't understand why it's the academics, it's the over intellectualized Democrats that do this, and because of the fact that there is so much power, there's so much just time and effort. There's so much time and effort going towards building these just ideologies, these solutions and these problems, that it is hard if you're not somebody who's in the room, if you're not somebody who's writing one of the books, to knock it down, because they made up their own game. It's like you're trying to play Cones of Dunshire with Ben from Parks and Rec and try to school him on the game. It's like, that ain't gonna work. He made up the game. It's keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple.
And respect the Constitution. And clearly the message is being absorbed. And believe it or not, this crazy idea of actually enforcing the law, well, I guess surprise to every Democrat who's had their heads so far shoved up their you-know-what for the last years. I think people are finally starting to realize that it can be applied more broadly.
Not even just a regular firefighter, but the deputy fire chief. Put it one in the chat if you have not seen that video. We will definitely get that.
All kinds of different issues, various different issues. It's not just for the border crisis. Look at California, for instance, after years of decriminalizing shoplifting.
So it's an alleged California shoplifter shocked to learn stealing now a felony. Pinch new laws. Prop 36, which increases punishments for some retail theft and drug possession offenses recently went into effect.
And watching retail thefts spiral out of control, well, they finally reversed course and made it illegal again. And when I say they, I mean the voters who voted on the proposition. And guess what? Shoplifting is already down. People are being arrested for shoplifting, and the message is moving rather quickly within the world of criminality. This is the—
Wait a minute. You're telling me that when there's an incentive not to do something, people won't do that thing? And when there's an incentive to do something, people will do that thing? I don't know if I believe you. I don't know if I believe you. Shout out to Zippy, DSM Lee. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. The birthright citizenship is neat. It's going to be like gun law. A messy issue for the lower courts. Will flip around until SCOTUS makes a ruling. Even then, without the DOJ pushing things, the lower courts can still block it. Yeah, I definitely don't think it's going to be easy. But in terms of where each of us fall individually, that is the issue. When there's so much nuance, then it can be easy. It could be easy to be swayed in one direction or the other. Not really fully understanding what you're signing on to. But agreed. Welcome to the party, sir. Very good to see ya, and happy Liberation Day.
For shoplifting, and the message is moving rather quickly within the world of criminality. This is the perfect example. We played this a couple weeks ago.
Just a felony. It's new laws. Stupid. Stealing is a felony.
Oh, hell no.
And this is Orange County. They don't play. That's why I asked what county is this. That's where I went to jail last year and got on probation for a year for stealing out of Target.
Yeah, I know. Shocking, right? When they're
again, if we go through that, where am I? So this is Orange County. They don't play around. This is the same county where I got arrested last year and I got probation for stealing from Target. And now it's a felony. Sucks to suck, bitches. And then to all the people who can be like, well, who cares? These poor black women against a giant corporation like Target. Like, you realize that the other poor black, white, and other people around that go to that Target, it's them who pays the price. It's them who pays the price. Whether it's an annoyance that everything is locked up and now you got to call somebody to open up a cage for deodorant or whatever, or they just raise the prices. Don't say it's weird how they knew that and yet still did it. Yes, I bet you they won't do it again. I bet you they won't do it again. Let's just watch this part again. That was fun. That was good. I like this.
This is the perfect example. We played this a couple weeks ago.
Just a felony. It's new laws. Stealing is a felony.
This one's like, bitch, if I knew that, I wouldn't have been doing it.
And this is Orange County. They don't play. That's why I asked what county is this. That's where
I asked what county this is. That's where
I went to jail last
year
and got on probation for a year for stealing out of Target.
Yeah.
So 1 year probation for stealing. Now it's a felony.
I know, shocking, right? When there's actual consequences for breaking the law, people start to wake up, it creates a natural deterrent, and all of a sudden, they stop breaking the law. Maybe not all of them, but a good chunk of them will. And that, of course, makes the issue a whole lot more manageable. You know, the whole point is you don't want to enable crisis mode. What was happening in California was a retail theft, a crime crisis.
Absolutely.
And it was brought on by idiotic leftist policies. Essentially, when you make it a free-for-all, what are you going to get? You're going to get complete chaos. You have to enforce the law so these issues don't spiral completely out of control. And obviously, that's exactly what we saw with the southern border. And that's why it became so unmanageable. And the solution has always been to just enforce the laws that are already on the books. But Democrats said we were crazy. No.
Yup. All right. Let's see what else M169's got for us. Let's see. Let's
find out.
What did he say?
Sometimes the more you fuck around, the more you'll find out. And we found out.
Wait, who was that?
No.
Is this Baron? Oh, I just realized that's music. Ah, crap. Well, this might get taken out, but oh well. There we go. I want to know what he said. What do you guys think he said? What do you guys think he said? Something that Biden would have reacted to. So it had to be visceral. It had to be visceral because, you know, I mean, Biden's not really all there. So if he is upset about something, then, you know, it must have cut deep. What am I looking for then? Okay, so let's go to my history. Yep, that was Barron. Big boy Barron. Shout out to Most Marg, man of the steel. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. Said we are so fucking back. Yes, yes, we are. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. I don't go to Walmart anymore. I just have them deliver it to me. I went to Walmart yesterday. I was going to buy some makeup, and I didn't feel like waiting for someone to unlock the case. So that's a sale they didn't get. And how many people are exactly like that? I know I would. I'd be like, oh, nope, done. How much money are they losing? And that's before we're even talking about the actual thefts. And Most Smart said, Barron is a fucking savage. He straight up told Biden, now we raid your house. That would be epic. If it was, dilly. To that. All right, what was I gonna look for? Yeah, we had of the that's why. All right, hold up. It was here somewhere. You can see my history. Ooh, what are we looking at? Oh, we can talk about that. But all right, so this is Tim talking about the birthright citizenship thing.
Nations of cartels as foreign terrorist organizations.
So he's gonna get through the whole thing. Usually he kind of gives his opinion and then he'll just like read the news. So Destiny allegations. What is going on with the Crucible and Destiny? Okay, well that's a different thing for a different day. But so yeah, the goal here for me at least is to see how closely I align with, because I disagree with his position, but I need to understand why. So let's see, because he's like, yeah, end it, good, done. Someone's supposed to hell's I mean I'm fine with it. I just don't, we can't play the music on YouTube. Delay. So we are out of the WHO, which was also a promise to RFK. Salute to that. Hell yeah. All right, let's see what we got here.
This is it, ladies and gentlemen. Donald Trump will announce the end of birthright citizenship for children of illegal immigrants, officials say. And I'd like to give a round of applause to Donald Trump. This is one of the things we fought for.
Thank you.
This is a large
brother.
component of what we continue to fight for. And I am glad to see Donald Trump taking the heavy actions that need to be taken. Let me start off by saying this, my friends. I'm a big fan of immigration. I'm a huge immigration fan. I love traveling to other countries, and I want everybody everywhere in the world to come to the United States legally. You see, I did that pause for dramatic effect. Legally means we have a process by which you can ask to come and we'll let you in. Now, the reason why I say everyone from everywhere is because should we be able to legally accommodate, we want to take this economic power from other countries. But let me clarify further. This means that we'll probably bring in a very small amount of people because we can't accommodate everyone in the world. And it means that everyone has the right to apply. And then we get to choose the best of the best who want to come here and integrate and become American. When we allow immigration, we are saying the best, the brightest, come here and help us make this country great. It's a good thing. Trump largely agrees. The problem is when we say everyone from everywhere, you can come legally, that means 99.99% never will. And I am saying the door is available for you to knock on. And if you want to come and respect us as a country, we let you in. We do. And that means learning the language, taking part in our culture. This idea that illegal immigrants can violate our laws, spit in our faces, and then have kids. And we're supposed to just be like, okay, they're Americans now. It's wrong. It's wrong. It erodes the family.
And okay, so far, I agree that is in principle wrong. But we've got a lot of people here who don't have another home. Again, not our issue, but to use Guamtek's phrasing, I think America can do better than that. Yeah, we were just watching that. Oh no, my CVP won. Yeah, not laughing at the people who have very real pain in that. Like, I'm sure you know it's awesome here. I'm sure you want to come, but it's just not that simple. So in principle, yes, I agree. I agree that we can't just let everybody in. Let's see what else he's got for us.
Fabric of this nation and will destroy it. Take a look at history, and they will explain to you in every facet how that is the case. So, if you live in any country, you should have the right to apply to immigrate to America. That's right. I said it. And then we'll decide if we're going to let it happen. And I think right now the large discussion is we've had too much. So you can apply, and then we'll consider it. And maybe once we have some openings, which would be few and far between, we let new immigrants come in. Trump.
Yeah, I'm just not about that. Like, it's like you don't know anything about this person. Like, do you not like America?
It's going to announce the end of birthright citizenship, and I do believe he has the authority to do so. This is interesting. Incoming President Trump will announce the end of birthright citizenship for children of illegal immigrants in an executive order on his first day in office. The federal government will no longer recognize the immediate citizenship of children of illegal immigrants born in the U.S. on a prospective basis. Trump had discussed ending birthright citizenship on the campaign trail, but the action could raise legal questions as the 14th Amendment states all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the U.S. and of the state wherein they reside. Yeah, well, let me break it down for you.
Please
if
do.
You are born here, but are not subject to the jurisdiction thereof, then you're not a citizen.
So that's the basis of his point there. What is this saying on the actual sentence there? As the 14th Amendment states, all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state which they reside. So again, a strong point that if you are not subject to the jurisdiction, that's one of the qualifications to make you a citizen. You aren't one. Venmo said, I don't know. They had every opportunity to come in through a legal port of entry. They chose to sneak across because it would be too invasive for them to do so. How do you know that? What were you taking accounts of what the people at the border were saying? And are you under the impression that you can just walk up and at a port of entry and they just let you in? That's not how it works at all. There's a lengthy process so that we can vet these people. And that costs a lot of money. So a lot of people come here illegally because they don't have the money or the time to sit around and go broke and starve and or be, subject to whatever is going on. That's why I'm totally sensitive to those things. Like, if you did not live in America and you wanted to come to America, I also would say, sorry, bud, you need to go legally. But if you couldn't get in, I don't know why that would. I feel like you would think that it would be fucked up if I laughed at you. Ha ha. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just okay. So you're just gonna skip over all the things I said and just stick with what you want to. Okay. That's not what I said. That's not what I said at all. But all right, no. If you have your opinions and speaking on deaf ears, then speaking on deaf ears.
Subject to the jurisdiction thereof, then you're not a citizen. And this is the big question of the 14th Amendment that I believe is patently obvious. I am sick of these people lying to exploit the goodwill of the American people. Let me tell you what America was trying to do.
That doesn't make them bad.
Let's talk about history. We had a civil war.
That doesn't make me want to punish or laugh at these people. Them being wrong doesn't make their pain and sadness and whatever else funny to me. And it's a little weird that it would be funny to somebody else. It seems very removed. It's very solipsistic. That like, oh, well, I'm in America, so I'm already here. So it doesn't really matter. And hey, you are absolutely free to feel whatever way you want, but Gumnick said, I don't know, people wanting to give a better life for their soon-to-be children aren't on the same scale as cartel members. Bingo. I recognize the problem, but I can see them being more open to naturalization. Yeah, 100%. 100%. I think, the core of the issue right now is the sheer number of people. That's the number one issue. That there's just so many people that the process is not reasonable for somebody who can't afford it and afford it monetarily and chronologically. So that is why you have people coming in and not leaving. And there's a big range of people who are just here because they're poor and they're trying to do better to let's infiltrate and fuck up America. All of that exists. All of that exists. But all of that exists. It's not just one thing. Yeah, so I recognize where am I? I recognize the problem. I can see them being more open to nationalization. It would be an orphan in America. Would being an orphan in America be better than having a family in Mexico? Interesting. I don't have a goddamn thing open. Let's put that to a poll. Being an orphan in America being better than having a family in Mexico? That is a good question. Hold on. Oh my God, this thing's gotta load now. I mean, you know what? The fact that this is not working enough, I'm not even gonna complain. So, which would you prefer? To be orphan in America? So let's say let's pick an age. Let's pick an age so that we know what we're talking about. Because if you're 17 and you're an orphan, that's very different than being 9 and being an orphan. Let's say if you're 10 years old. At 10 years old. Because I mean, 10 years old, you might be able to, you figure it out. Which would we prefer? Have a family in Mexico. All right, we'll just leave it like that. I feel like you guys are gonna find ways to be like, well, this because of that, and not really answer the question. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So which would you prefer at 10 years old? Minmos Mark said, I'm a natural born citizen. I've paid into the system and been fucked a lot of the time as a white middle-aged man. And right now, the number of people that think they can come in and get fucking handouts in the thousands to start their lives here when we've been scrounging and living paycheck to paycheck. That's where I'm at. Either way you spin it, they're illegal. And if you don't want them to come in the legal way, then they don't deserve to be here. Because if they want to sneak in, they've obviously got skeletons. Or they don't know any other way and have been given delusions of grandeur being here. Yeah, like when the fucking president of the United States tells them to come in. This is willful ignorance, my friend. I'm not here to finger wag at you or woke scold you or anything. I'm just telling you, this is a very small way to look at this. We got hungry days. You're not wrong in the sense that, we as Americans have paid into this. You're not wrong that people are coming here for nefarious reasons. But to just say, oh, well, that's it. So fuck you. Unfortunately, we can't let you in. Those are two very different things. Like, unfortunately, hardline, you are not coming in as much as we would love to. That is very different than, you fucking fence jumper. Loser. Those are two very different positions. And I, sir, hold the former.
Tell you what America was trying to do. Let's talk about history. We had a civil war.
I know.
And then we had
Let's see if
former
that feeds you.
slaves. Slavery was abolished in the 13th Amendment, unless you're incarcerated. So there is still technically slavery to a certain degree. Work without compensation or minimal compensation. And chattel slavery. And then we have the 14th. You see, at the time they said, okay, what do we do with all these former slaves? Are they citizens? Well, of course, if they were born here and they're subject to our jurisdiction, you are now citizens. It was meant to be a brushstroke for those people at that moment to become citizens and have full rights. It was never meant to be construed that someone from China could fly here on a plane, because they didn't have planes back then, or a ship, give birth to a kid on our shores, and that kid could be president. That was never the intention. But it's really simple. If someone comes to this country from Mexico, from Honduras, from China, from Eritrea, you name it, they are not subjects of our jurisdiction. They're not subject to our jurisdiction.
And again, that's the big point about why they can't come in. The perception of what we think of those people is what we're saying. So, Manuel said, I have empathy, and I see where there are outliers, but the majority are all here to get over on us. And yeah, we can't disagree with that. Even if you're a nice person just looking to live the American dream, that is taking away from Americans. And Manuel said, I'll digress. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate you, sir. Because, you know, that right before you got here, we were just saying, like, I'm not really sure how I feel about this, or I guess I know how I feel about it, but I don't know what I would think would be the best option. And I don't like the dehumanization of just acting like it's a policy. It's not just a policy. The fact that it's not just a policy doesn't mean we should bend or break. But it's not just a policy; it's real, real people out there. And again, yeah, I mean, you know, you're preaching the choir. My parents had to go through the legal channels and came here legally and afforded me this life. I was born here, and because they were citizens at the time, even though they weren't born here, I you know, obviously get citizenship either way. But at the end of this, point being, I would still be an American. Glomtech said, honestly, I don't even really know the full ins and outs of birthright citizenship. But maybe there's a way to offer citizenship, but forcing the family to work harder for it. Definitely a you know, solution minded, because again, it's not that we don't want people here. It's that there's too many and we don't know who they are. And so if it's, you know, talking about the other aspect of, well, people are starting to self-deport, people are trying not to even come. Okay, those are the people that then we could say, how bad was your life really? Maybe you were just trying to come and get over on us. Maybe you were just trying to get free stuff, which again, doesn't make you a bad person, but certainly gives me a reason to be like, hey, fuck off. If it's free, it's for me. But at the same time, you know what I mean? Hey, we got Kelly Green in the building. Welcome to the party, sir. So today's a very good day. Very nice. People don't like the N-word. Good one. I'll dilly that. There you go. Yeah, Lomtech saying a path towards doing things the right way, but have to pay a toll of some kind. And again, it doesn't have to be. You don't like the N-word for Trump, at least. But yeah, the if they came legally, it could be easier to become a citizen. Yeah, I like all these ideas. But I'm still not convinced that. Well, let's keep going then. Minmo said, again, we can all be happy for today. At least most of us. Still waiting for people to take that flight out of country. Well, again, people are self-deporting, so it is working. Just by the man being in office. Just by him taking the office. They're all like, yo, I'm good. Hamas is like, no, thank you. BB's like, oh, well, I guess playtime's over. We rode that way, man. Ukraine, they're like, what? All these people are like, God damn, we really could have used 4 more years of Biden. Yeah, celebrities are self-deporting too, but there's a lot. We just watched the report on it where people are seeing the apps aren't working. Trump's in office. CBP has more power. So those people, more like you're talking about, the nefarious people, are like, it's not really worth it anymore. I said, drill, baby, drill, and drill we will. All right, guys. I know we had a little stutter start with the struggle stream, but we are almost at the 3-hour mark So if you would like to keep the party raging, you know how to do it. And I could definitely use at least one person to help me see if my microphone and stuff works in Discord right after this. That would be very much appreciated. See if it's a computer or if it's StreamYard or what. All right, diving back in.
They are not subjects of our jurisdiction. They're not subject to our jurisdiction. Insofar as they are here and we can have authority on this jurisdiction, yes. But when we arrest this person, guess what? The foreign country can take them out of prison. We can argue with them, but they are subjects to another jurisdiction. The line is actually quite simple. If you are born here, but your parents have rights in other countries that will intervene in when a law is broken, then you're not the subject to our jurisdiction. And it was never intended that you be granted automatic citizenship. It's an absurdity. And it results in the erosion of the fabric and culture of this country.
And again, it's making it hard to really see, is that just an emotional position to go beyond the fact that, look, it says you're whatever the two things were, but one being you're subject to the jurisdiction, you're not subject to the jurisdiction, therefore you're not a citizen. End of story. Is it that simple? He's not. So a bunch of you, everybody here said, have a family in Mexico. Why? Whoever answered the poll, why? Why would you? What made you choose one or the other? What was I just saying? Was I saying something? Yeah. Is it just? Am I trying to find a more a nicer way to look at things when at the end of the day, sometimes you just got to do what the rules are, Yana.
Let me say it again for all you guys. No, I'm a fan of immigration. They say Tim Pool's far right, or why? I'm pro-immigration. I've got friends from countries all over the place. I know people from China. Heck,
I got a black friend
from family of immigrants. Most of us do. We love it, but there's got to be rules and regulations and restrictions. We want people to come and assimilate, not come and steal. And look, people do. I'm talking about cartels, gang members, people, traffickers. They're not coming here to find the American dream. They're coming here to exploit.
Bro, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. That's a good one. M69 said, I'm fine with zero immigration for the next 18 months while we round up illegals and get them out. Then hopefully we can take a closer look at those applying. I completely agree. Some of you, we have some OGs here. Some of you might remember, what was her name? There was another woman. I forget her name. If you're watching, she still watches every once in a while. Like when people do gifted memberships, she'll get gifted memberships all the time. Mackenzie, right? Mackenzie. We were having a discussion about immigration. I don't remember exactly what it was. And I was saying essentially this, that like, let's just halt all immigration so that we can figure out what's going on. And then we can resume when we have an idea of what's going on. And she's like, oh my God, that's so evil. I'm like, wait. I'm from a family of immigrants. I'm not saying like, I don't know what you think I'm saying, but I'm just saying there's lots of people here. And there's not enough stuff or space here. That's it. And she got real mad and she never came back. So people are definitely getting emotional about this stuff.
Traffickers. They're not coming here to find the American dream. They're coming here to exploit the American dream and ruin it for so many people. Now, my friends, this won't be the only one. Fox News reporting, Trump's taken more than 200 executive actions on day one. The actions will address border security, DEI.
So if you missed the poll, the question was, would you prefer at 10 years old, if you're 10 years old, would you rather be an orphan in America or would you rather have a family, like brothers, sisters, parents, like have a family at 10 years old? The question came from Guamtech comparing the two situations. And apparently everybody would rather be in Mexico, which I don't think so, but I knew that wouldn't be. And I knew there wasn't a good way to ask that question in the way that I wanted to. But, we tried. And what's nice, said, even if you're in Mexico, you have a family, a support system. You don't have that as an orphan, and I don't really trust the state to care for a child properly. Fair enough. The problem with that question is that there's not enough. Like, there's some nice places in Mexico, so it's like the implication of being in Mexico and not in a good spot was really the question. But I didn't really know how to do that. All right, what do we got? Shout out to Cheddar Steve. Welcome to the parties. I never thought I'd be whacking off to the first lady, Cheddar Steve said. But here I am. What you just skipped out from 2020 or from 2016 to 2020? You just skipped out? The same chick. I don't know if you know. Either way, welcome to the party.
Energy and other issues on which Trump campaigned. Oh boy. A senior administration official who is familiar with the executive actions and authorized to brief Fox News Digital said Trump on day one will end catch and release. Let's go. Pause all offshore wind leases. Let's go. Terminate the electrical vehicle mandate. Abolish the Green New Deal. Withdraw from the Paris Climate Accord. Take several major steps to assert presidential control over the federal bureaucracy. And I am here for it.
Okay, let's hear the argument.
Tonight's going to be pretty contentious. We've got the plan is that we had a Democrat coming on the show. And it's a Democrat we like, as hard as it is, because Democrats largely march in lockstep. We got a guy. He's pretty good, and we're grateful that he
I don't care, bro. Give me your argument.
Maybe actually we'll moderate and say, you're right about a lot of these things. That will fundamentally reform the American government, issuing a historic series of executive orders and actions that will fundamentally reform the American government, including the complete and total restoration of American sovereignty. On day one, the president-elect will declare a national border emergency. Direct the U.S. military to war with the Department of Homeland Security to fully.
I want to hear his why he supports this.
Security on U.S. talk. There's very little else to disagree with on. Trump will close the border to all. Oh man, I hope you're having a good day. I think we should order pizza from the FBI. Ice soaked for cans, which they've learned of. I'll put it like that. I think it's fair out putting caps and blocks and that have constrained U.S. energy supply. Now, it is fair to say, many reports say that Biden actually increased our production, but it wasn't without putting caps and blocks and actually negative. It was a mixed bag. I'll put it like that. I think it's fair to say, we pulled up oil production. It was up, but let's see Trump crank that knob to 11. The official also said Trump will fully reform the federal bureaucracy by reestablishing presidential control over the career federal workforce and make clear to federal workers that they can be removed from posts or failing to oversee act on the Gulf. I'm greatest president government. You love to hear it.
Okay, so he's just going through other stuff. So he doesn't really give a strong argument as to why this is so good, aside from a pretty undeniable academic argument that, hey, a citizen means this. If you're not, it's part one and part two. If you don't have part one and you don't have part two, then you don't fit the definition. I'm very sensitive to the position and the plight of people who are, again, just trying to make themselves better, and especially if they have a family, give a better life for their family. But I don't know. At the end of the day, there's just not enough for everyone. There's just not enough space. There's not enough jobs. There's not enough money. There's not enough. There's not enough. And if there is, then whoever they is preventing them from being enough. Whatever they're willing to give us, other people that come here, it takes out of that. So even if they're definitely, they can just print the goddamn money. They can't print the resources. They can't print the space. But they can print the money. And they can print the money. But at the end of the day, is that who's that really helping? Who is that really helping? If these countries are in such bad shape, then what? I mean, Mexico isn't a third world country. Like, why? Jesus Christ, I need to do that. I think maybe if I had a better understanding of what was going so wrong in Mexico and in these, not just Mexico, but these other places, and I understand, gangs and stuff, but does that mean that we can, we have gangs here? I don't know. It is tough. It's a tough situation. But here, one more thing I want to do here. That's not that. Copy. And what am I looking to do? Paste that here. That's not what I wanted to do. If you weren't here from before, things might be a little bit different in the fact that I am working from my laptop because the microphone is not working from the computer. But I do have the setup. I'm just trying to get everything Going, oh no, I don't have the enter button. They don't really? You can't. All right, let me try this. I don't watch president. Oh, beautiful. Okay, and 10:22. Gang. Look at that. Look at that. So what I was trying to do when no, is this not it? Oh god damn it. See, I would have had this all set up. It would have been perfect. This is how I wanted to start the show. I was going to start it right here.
These actions, we will begin the complete restoration of America and the revolution of common sense. It's all about common sense.
And here I am, what? AKA the TheIndianJesus. And it would have been a perfect tie-in. It would have been a perfect tie-in. But unfortunately, I did not get there. But thank you so very, very much for hanging out and getting me through this. Guys, I don't know if you understand what it's like, but it was not fun. But what will be fun is the after party. I'm sure you guys have some other stuff that we didn't get to go over, so I'd very, very much love to see it. Head on over to the Discord. It is free to join. The Discord is absolutely free to join. There's a link at the top of the chat. However, if you are a member of this channel here on YouTube, that's how you can access the voice channel with the after party. It is definitely cool. Kelly Green said he will be there. And okay, well, I missed this one. Let's see. Emma's Denied said, even if you're in Mexico. Oh, I did say that. Yeah, I did say that. Okay. Word up. We did it, guys. We did it. 4 more years. Let's go. 4 more years. Guys, thank you so very, very much for hanging out. I really hope you enjoyed watching me scramble like an idiot. If you didn't, scroll to the beginning and watch me freak the F out. The rest of you, I will see you over in the after party. Thank you so very, very much for hanging out once again, guys. This is Morty, and I have been your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of, like Donald Trump says, common sense. Until next time, guys, we are out of here. Peace.